I'm only 5 minutes later than I thought I'd be. It's fine. I'm gonna check something before I start, though. Okay. I need to make friends. Oh yeah, how many friends do I need? Okay. I want to get through at least like to here. Yeah, I want to get through at least to here. And then I want to see, so like Trixie has this other one here, and whoever this is has 2 as well, and I want to know how to get that, so I'm also going to probably experiment with trying to get those. But like, I feel like if I go that far, then tomorrow I'll be able to do these ones. And again, like I don't get it, but anyway, I should be able to just do these ones and then do Pester Quest. Yes. Okay. Oh, let me do one thing. Hi! Homestuck game. All right, I need to make friends. There's so many friends in this game. I wasn't expecting this many friends because I didn't really pay attention to any of the troll call stuff. I met you guys. I met you. Oh, lovely. The next troll to meet is another clown. Going to Clerch went so well last time. I guess take me back to Clerch. This is a dark world, both because it's night and because of the brutal struggle for survival among its polyhemochromatic inhabitants, many of whom seem to thrive on havoc and carnage. You'd be interested to see the Michaelian Guide entry for Alternia. Yes, absolutely. Join me. I need to finish my reread because I was rereading Homestuck, but then the epilogue dropped and I never went back to my reread. So I'm still like right after I'm in Act 6. I need to finish my reread. I read that last stream. I don't feel like rereading it. I'm sorry. Karako. It's a baby clown, but I don't. Hey, why do you have so many knives on you, Karako? I don't trust. Ooh, pretty. Having learned the dangers of using the public thoroughfares, you've taken to dodging down byways and skulking in rear areas, trying to spy out individuals who look ripe for friendship while avoiding the more criminally insane denizens. As a person who likes the epilogues, I don't know if I describe them as good. They are interesting. And I mean, they do what they're trying to do really well. And I like them. Just now you're following a winding footpath through the undergrowth surrounding a neighborhood where the local hives are spaced far apart. You came creeping along this footpath for safety. You should have known better. The undergrowth here is like most of the other life forms in Alternia, evolved to ruthlessly purge the gene pool of the weak and the reasonable. Coiled, spring-loaded stalks with foot-long thorns flank writhing bushes with razor-edged leaves, which in turn crowd tentacled flora with toothed lobes oozing liquid that hisses and smokes when it touches the ground. Extreme caution is needed, just as it's needed in every circumstance on this planet. While your time in Alternia has gotten you accustomed to injuries, you still shrink from being impaled on sprung thorns and dissolved in acid. You should have known that eventually you would have to come up against the local flora, so you proceed discreetly, avoiding poison fronds and trying not to step on trigger roots. But suddenly your vegetative focus is interrupted. You hear footsteps on the path, and then around the corner comes a small figure. Its face and horns are painted with smudged black and white marks. Despite its diminutive physique, it has some of the most impressive horns you've seen on any troll. I just don't want to go back to Clerch. I was told to not be seen there again. The small figure sees you too and is so startled it jumps a foot, impaling its horns in an overhanging tree branch and sticking there so that its small legs pump helplessly in the air. Honk! You beg the small person's pardon and assure him that you are fully startled as he. You go on to explain that you are not dangerous, but even if you were, you would not want to come to strike with even a small person with horns of that size. Honk? Yes, you will be happy to help him down as long as he promises not to attack you with the many-bladed weapons that are stuffed into his belt, or with the dozen cans of an inexpensive soft drink held in bandoliers crossing his chest. It strikes you suddenly that a neighborhoodly gesture like helping someone whose horns are stuck in a tree branch can scarcely fail to kindle the light of friendship. You dare to hope that this will be the case now. Edging forward, you get close enough to see that around the small clown's neck hangs a dog tag or ID necklace. You tilt your head and crane your neck to read the writing on it. Oh. Karako Puro. I can't. I'm gonna call that Pirate because. Oh, Bronya! Oh, Bronya! Bronya is one of my friends. If lost, call Bronya or Sama. We really haven't seen their last names much in the actual story, so I don't know nobody's last name besides Tagora. Gorjek is his last name. I know that. I love Bronya. Suddenly this all makes sense. This Karako pirate must have been one of Bronya's reject runt regulars who, having grown to childhood under her tender care, has gone out into the world to seek his fortune. That would account for his small size, short legs, and small stature relative to his horns. You eagerly pull out your palm husk, happy for an excuse to pester your old friend, but you've got zero signal out here. You wonder if the surrounding vegetation eats palm husk signals, just as it looks like it eats everything else. You disappointedly slip your palm husk back into your pocket. Honk. You apologize for the delay. Please, dear God, tell me that this... Do you just speak in honks, child? You apologize for the delay, explaining that you were surprised to find that you appear to have an acquaintance in common, whom you hope you will have time to discuss later. For now, you are ready, willing, and hopefully able to help him down. You hope he won't be offended if you slip behind him first. It's not that you object to bladed weapons or those who stuff dozens of them in their belts, but you feel like the ones he's wearing could ruin your look if buried in your torso, however unintentionally. You edge past the weapons, being careful also not to touch the spring thorns growing at the edge of the path or their trigger roots. Hi! I am still on my home stuck. I guess that's why his horns are painted. I said that. Once you're behind Karako, you grasp his horns firmly and pull, withdrawing them from the tree branch and allowing him to drop lightly onto the ground. Okay. This is all you say, huh? Okay. You tell him that he's very welcome. Then there's a moment of awkward silence as you try to think of something else to say. Fortunately, your new potential friend is not as devoid of the social graces as you are, and gets the conversational ball rolling himself, does he? You explain that you are indeed a stranger in these parts, and that you actually don't fit into any of the hemospectrum categories. Wild, right? Although not quite as strange as you used to be, you'd like to think. You're really starting to blend in with the local color. Well, you'd rather not exhibit your blood just now. You're a couple of quarts low due to the robust conditions of life on Alternia, some of which you have recently had the honor of encountering. You sympathize. Slinking along these hidden paths in the Alternian woods can be tough on the morale. The smell alone is enough to make strong men weep, and the vegetation looks like it was designed by the Marquis de Sade. Not that he knows who the Marquis is. You can't help but feel like it would be so much better if only one had a skulk buddy. You continue. How wonderful it would be to travel these dusty lanes with a kindred spirit, a twin soul, a fellow traveler, an intimate crony. You're such an expert on friend synonyms by now. Oh wait, are you saying that he looks like, yeah. I can see that. Yeah. All he says is honk. So that's what we're dealing with. No, you haven't met anyone like that either, but you would certainly like to. Your new potential friend is obviously thinking seriously about this issue, so you back off, give him space. You pretend to be deeply immersed in studying one of the razor-sharp leaves on one of the writhing bushes beside the path. You aren't one to force yourself on others or try to unduly influence their friendship decisions. Okay, well, maybe you forced yourself on others in the past and tried to influence their friendship decisions. Maybe you've even done this a lot, but you've recently evolved as a person. You now know that friendship is something that has to come authentically from within. Friendship is spontaneous. Real friendship sprouts naturally from the soil of mutual respect. The best friendships grow and ripen over years and are not rushed or forced. Of course, you've only known this small person for about 5 minutes, but you have to start ripening sometime. You're reflecting thus on the theme of friendship when a loud pours suddenly from the sky above you. It's a crackling, sizzling sound, like a tinnitus thing with too many legs struggling in a hot frying pan. Karako jumps so violently that he nearly gets his horn stuck in the tree again. Looking up, you see a floating metal object, vaguely troll-shaped, but huge, faceless, metal, and with numerous sets of lightning bolt-shaped horns coming out of its head and neck. It's also not a very sparkling conversationalist. It remarks in a flat, echoing blare. It elaborates further. I mean, nah, I don't think it's a drone because we know what drones look like. And if it was a drone, we would have said it's a drone. So we're gonna help Karako. You leap to your proto-friend's aid. Thinking quickly, you push Karako against a large rock that juts out of the undergrowth nearby and jump in front of him, shielding him from the drone with your body. You then pretend to be leaning against the rock in an attitude of tranquil repose. Several of the bladed weapons in Karako's belt poke you in the ass, but you don't let this show in your face. Instead, you yawn elaborately and check your wristwatch. You don't have a wristwatch, but you don't think drones know what a wristwatch is anyway. You pretend to smoke a non-existent cigarette. Again, you're not giving anything away, because drones don't know what cigarettes are either. But the drone has apparently taken an interest in you. It floats down between the trees and undergrowth and hovers above the path several meters from where you're pretending to relax against a rock after a long day of hiking through the scenic shit-smell forest. It's quite a terrifying sight, actually. The drone observes soullessly, making Karako jump so that several of your internal organs are threatened. However, you maintain that what you believe the local populace would call a stiff upper whistle pillow. The drone's blank metal head studies you, or it could be studying something in the opposite direction, or even taking the drone equivalent of a piss. You really can't tell from its expression, because it has no features to make expressions with. This examination or non-examination continues for some time, but your diminutive potential friend is well hidden from view, and after a while, evidently concluding that you are an inanimate object that makes unaccountable gestures with its wrists and fingers, the drone floats upward again, gaining speed, until, with a dreary it whizzes off somewhere to find another hapless non-standard citizens to euthanize. When it's gone, you stand away from the rock and rub several sore places that have been pierced by bladed weapons. You turn to Karako and comment on the recent fervor, but stop when you see the look he's directing at you. A warm and admiring look, an affectionate and esteeming look, a look of friendship. Your first impulse is to throw your arms around him and lean in, but on second thought, remembering his pants arsenal, you put out your hand for a warm handshake. Victory is so close. But before you can seal the deal on this sweet friendship transaction, you hear a disturbance further down the path. God, can't the narrative chill for one moment? Especially a moment when you're about to consummate a beautiful friendship? Was that line, is this more of the meta? Hey, MSPA reader, was that a weird thing to think? You turn to look, the footsteps, several sets of them get nearer, and around the bend come three figures. Three figures wearing swimming outfits, lots of gold jewelry. MSPA does not, That fourth wall is, And inconstant expressions. Three figures with gills on their necks and small stylized fins on their face. These are the first Sea Dwellers we've seen this whole game. Oh man, is it possible that you finally happen upon a group of the legendary Sea Dwellers? They stop short when they see you and Karako, obviously startled. They study you. You study them. Fin-headed interloper 1, in a one-piece and diamond earrings, whispers to her companions, and all three burst out laughing. Fin-head interloper 2, in a violet wetsuit and rings, slaps her thigh, and Finhead Interloper 3 in checkered swimming trunks holds his sides. Part of you is relieved. Laughter drives out the devil, is the best medicine, and in any event is better than homicidal mania. On the other hand, this laughter isn't friendly. It's cold, mocking, and supercilious. These Sea Dwellers are obviously laughing at you, not with you. You notice Karako's cheek flushing purple under his face paint and his jaw clenching. However, he just stares with stony dignity at the interlopers. This makes them laugh harder. The first sea dweller, I can't speak ever. The first sea dweller says, "What are you two supposed to be? Shrimp Cassidy and the Squamous Kid?" says her second companion. "A cold bait minnow and his mutated soft shell crab," says the third. "Looks like the minimal one went down on the clown, causing it to spurt out the other one." The sea dweller's laughter is redoubled. You continue expressionless at the insults, but to your dismay, Karako's face is taking on a harsh, glowering look. You guess that such a tiny dude, he has probably been victimized by bullies his whole life, and as you happen to know, there are no bullies like Alternian bullies. Honk. You tell him to let them talk all the shit they want. Don't let them provoke him. They're trying to get him to do something stupid. If he doesn't react, they'll get bored and go away. Honk. No, remember that drone is probably still around here somewhere. Touch a scale on their heads and you can be rendered into mother grub feedstock. Hey, bottom feeders, no whispering when you're in the presence of your bathers. The fish puns are here. And you, little boy, put a respectful expression on your recognition surface. Be more like your friend, the slender manatee over there. In fact, why are you two still perpendicular in the presence of sea dwellers? You should be bowed at right anglers. The first sea dweller seems to have an affinity for cheesy ocean puns. You bow to the sea dwellers. You have your dignity, but you also like not getting killed. Karako remains stubbornly upright, his face getting angrier and purpler by the moment. The bladed weapons in his belt jingle from his enraged trembling. Oh, see the little clownfish, he's getting angry. Looks like he's gonna shit his pants. What did I tell you about your face, boy? Didn't your Lucis teach you anything? I doubt he even has a Lucis. A self-respecting Lucis would never let a shrimp like that out of the hive, unless his Lucis is just as defective. The Lucis cracks are too much for Karako. Ignoring your hissed warnings, he suddenly leaps, snarling into the air, draws bladed weapons from his belt in each hand, and hurtles toward the sea dwellers. Well, I'm gonna try and stop him because honestly, I wonder if just leaping at them was enough for them. Why did I use that save slot? But I wonder. Now, will this end up with me getting stabbed? Maybe. Let's find out. You leap forward and you grab Karako by the coattails, or by his belt. You aren't actually sure what a coattail is. Jesus, he's strong. You can barely hold him. It's like trying to restrain a small truck. His legs rotate wildly, kicking up a cloud of dust, and he brandishes his bladed weapons wildly in the direction of the sea dwellers. After a startled moment in which they jump backwards, the sea dwellers have started to laugh again, coming up with more stupid insults and fish puns. This is not helping. Karako runs twice as hard, honks twice as loud, shakes his weapons twice as threateningly. Hey, hey, you shout at Karako, trying to be heard above the fracas, holding on with all your might and digging in your heels. You have half a mind to just let him go, to pay the sea dwellers back for their insults, but you try to keep a cool head. You're doing your proto-friend much more good trying to restrain his wrath. You've now succeeded in wrapping your arms all the way around him, and you get in front of him, holding him back with straight arms, bellowing soothingly in his face and trying to avoid the bladed weapons he's brandishing. But it's not working. You can see from the contorted features, the bared teeth, and distended nostrils with smoke coming out, the blazing eyes, that Karako is getting more and more enraged. And suddenly his rage seems to reach a kindling point. His body vibrates violently, his eyes grow huge and round. And suddenly from his body, something like a nuclear blast pressure wave of fear and violence sends you flying through the air like a scrap of paper and in a gale. What the fuck? Are you hallucinating? But you can see as you soar up above the path that the sea dwellers aren't laughing anymore. In fact, they're screaming in terror and fleeing wildly, blundering into razor leaves, being impaled by spring thorns and burned by pod acid, and generally receiving the stern retribution that awaits assholes. Then your head collides with a tree branch and you are rendered unable to narrate for a while. You wake up lying in the dust. As consciousness returns, you realize that you're lying on the path, and as it returns further, that a small clown-painted figure is seated next to you, quite calm now. He smiles fondly as he sees you sit up. A honk! You smile in return. You express relief that he realizes you are acting in his best interest, holding him back from the Finheads. And now, though largely because of his unexpected burst of clown sorcery, or whatever that was, everything has turned out for the best. Karako holds up his arms for a hug, but then remembering the bladed weapons in his belt, sticks out his hand. You shake it warmly. Oh! Is this the fastest friend I've ever made? Friendship, get! You walk with a purpose. You don't really have a purpose, aside from friendship, of course, but you know these streets pretty well by this point, so you can at least strut like you've got one. Charun. Well, let's go meet Charun. Actually, you know what? You think you've had it up to here with friendship. Oh, I doubt it. You're sure you'll be back on your regular friend making bullshit later, but today is just one of those days. A curl up under the blankets with your favorite show sort of day. A leave your phone on silent and say nothing to no one sort of day. And honestly, you've watched a friend almost die of poisoning and gazed upon the juggalo afterlife. You think you've more than earned a day, or night rather, of respite like this. So just for today, you turn your back on this new swath of Alternian city you were considering walking through and head back to ye old hideout. No explorations now, only bed. You drag yourself up the scaffolding to your hidey hole. More than anything, more than binging on media or relaxing amidst peace and quiet, you want to take a nice long nap. So you spill yourself into the little pile of bedding, pillows, and various pieces of clothing you've managed to throw together and settle in. As soon as your body touches it, you're out like a light. But it isn't very long until you're awake again, and not because your body is rousing itself after sufficient slumber, but because of a persistent scrabbling sound. A persistent scrabbling sound that is followed by a loud thunk. Typically, that wouldn't be enough to get you up. You're a pretty heavy sleeper, but the noise is accompanied by the nagging sensation that whatever is making the noise is in the room with you, and that has you bolting upright. You must have woken up in the middle of your REM cycle because you feel like a mummy rising out of the crypt. Is this real life or is this just fantasy? Your brain struggles to make sense of your surroundings through the fog of residual sleepiness that is still settled over you as you stumble to your feet. Eventually, you're able to discern that the noise is coming from behind and above you, around where the ceiling is. What the hell? Is there a raccoon crawling in the vents? Does Alternia even have raccoons? If it does, you're pretty sure you wouldn't want to meet one, but you can't exactly leave it in your living space either. You get up to investigate. The noise isn't coming from the ceiling like you thought, but from a platform that's been shoved unceremoniously to the very back of the watchtower. There's a large object in front of it that wasn't there before, a giant curved lens that could only have come from the hole that is now in the side of the platform structure. Maybe this was an old telescope or camera that the Condis once used for surveillance? The scrabbling continues. It's coming from within the structure. You're not eager for whatever it is in there to come jumping out at you as soon as you stick your head inside, but you still your nerves and hoist yourself up. You find yourself face to face with not some weird animal or bug, but a troll. This is a bona fide friend opportunity. It's practically fallen in your lap, but you find yourself unexpectedly ornery about it. You would think that you'd expect some privacy in your own home, or, well, the place you've adopted as home in Alternia anyway, but apparently not. Even when you decided that you aren't in a friending mood. Oh. There was an actual vaporwave troll. Sarava, they were into moisture wave. Even when you've decided that you aren't in a friending mood, there the universe goes, yeeting new friends into your path anyways. Can't you go a day on this planet without dancing the whole friendship jig? It quickly becomes obvious that this mysterious stranger isn't going to offer you anything more than enigmatic gazing into the middle distance. What exactly are they doing in your hideout, you ask? If they were thinking about moving in, they could have at least asked you first. You're the current occupant, after all. I don't want to move in. I already have a hive. I came here for that. They point past you. You can only assume they're referring to the giant lens you've seen on the floor. Well, if they'd gotten what they'd come for, why are they still hanging out in the platform's innards like this? I'm stuck. And they didn't try calling for help. I didn't notice you, wherever you came from. I didn't think anyone else was here. Would they perhaps like some help? Maybe. As you hop down from the platform, you find your ire draining from you much like fresh juice from a pimple. It's difficult to stay angry upon witnessing what's possibly the most pathetic burglary attempt ever, and that's counting your little fiasco with your ship. After walking around to the other side of the platform, you can see the troll's booted legs sticking out from a gap in the structure. It looks much too narrow for anyone to crawl through, and yet that's exactly what they must have done in order to push the lens out from behind. You yell that you're going to try and pull them out. You hear a faint muttered, "Okay," and reach up to grab them around the waist, pulling hard. It takes a couple of tries, but with one particularly hard tug, you're finally able to pull them free. They tumble down on top of you. Thanks for getting me unstuck and breaking my fall. You didn't really do that part on purpose, but you're glad they appreciated it, you guess. They seem pretty content to continue lying on top of you, actually, but they're heavy, so you wriggle out from underneath them like an earwig from under a rock and clamber to your feet. You nod at the lens. That's what they want, huh? The troll sits up, crossing their legs. You can see them more clearly now that they aren't sequestered inside the platform, although their face is obscured a little by their shaggy hair and floppy wide-brimmed hat. They look about as sleepy as you felt earlier, as sleepy as you're in danger of feeling again, in fact. Their voice is slow and regular, like a metronome dunked in molasses, and it almost threatens to send you right back to bed. Yeah. So... can I have it? I don't know if you can hear my clicks, but like a lot of the time if it stays on these two dots for a while, that's because there's multiple. I'm clicking the button. You swear you can feel your friend making juices start circulating through your body again with a vengeance after their little sabbatical. You're not really sure what came over you before. Turn down the chance to make a new friend? You? Wow. Who kidnapped you or replaced you with a total stranger for a few hours there? You tell the troll of course they can have the lens. It's not like you're doing anything with it, or like it's even yours to begin with. It was just abandoned here along with the rest of this broken down tech. Curiously, you ask what they want it for. Are they building something? Perhaps they're an engineer of some sort. No. Climbing all the way up here just for some building material would be pretty dumb. I want to use it for art. Huh. You look at the lens again skeptically. It's a cool lens, you suppose, but it mostly looks like exactly what it is, a hunk of junk. They want to make art out of this? Their work must be pretty, I would say interesting. Oh. Well. They squint at you like they've taken some sort of an issue with your comment. Have you managed to offend them? You thought you were being polite enough given their circumstances. Interesting is usually what people say when they have nothing better to say. Do you have a problem with making art out of trash? You shake your head rapidly, but the troll is already crossing their arms and shooting you a disapproving look. I don't think I want to talk to you anymore. Oh no, does this mean that they're going to leave? And after you've up and decided to try and add them to your ever-growing friend harem? Your ever-growing friend harem? No, I'm tired. Oh, okay then, they're just gonna kind of glower at you from the floor for a while until they get their strength back enough to leave, you assume. This definitely isn't awkward at all. Well, let's try that again and call it weird. Yeah. The two of you alternate between looking at the lens and each other for a while. Usually over the course of making a new friend, they usually would have asked you to do something by now, or presented you with some sort of choice between two potential courses of action. Is there anything they'd like to do now that they've retrieved their art materials? I mean, I don't know if this choice really matters. Guess it's all on you then. They probably want to take the lens back to their hive, right? I would, but I'm tired and hungry. Foraging for garbage takes a lot of energy, and I used the last of it climbing up here. I don't think I'll be able to carry it by myself. They really didn't think this whole junk heist thing through very well, did they? But would you look at that? This is an excellent time to make a suggestion. 4 arms are better than 2. You do that? Make sure you're careful with it. Of course, of course. You'll treat it with all the delicacy of an egg in an egg and spoon race. I don't know what that is. Carrying it to the watchtower's entrance is easy enough. Maneuvering down the cliff face is more complicated. You manage by holding it between you as you navigate from foothold to foothold. When you reach the bottom, the troll looks like they're ready to sit down again right there in the brush, but you urge them on. Resting in their hive will probably be much more comfortable. That's the wrong way. Sheepishly, you whirl back around from the random direction you were about to stride towards and follow them instead. With them leading the way and you bringing up the rear, the two of you shamble along the path with all the easy grace of 2 people in a horse costume. But you make it to your new companion's hive much quicker than you would have expected. They come to a stop in front of the entrance to a cave in another cliffside. If this is their place, it isn't very far from yours at all. You're surprised you haven't run into them until now. They're practically a neighbor. I've seen you around before. You're pretty hard to miss. Really? They should have said hi and introduced themselves. The two of you could have been hanging out all this time. It didn't feel like it. Besides, I was busy. With more of the scavenging and art business, you guess. Oh well, you're getting to know each other now, which is what's important. Speaking of, you've been talking and that was right. You've been talking and walking along, and you haven't even exchanged names yet. How remiss of you. Usually, you would have gotten introductions out of the way from the moment they broke into your hideout, but it's been an odd sort of night. That's okay. I'm Charun. Now come on, let's go inside. They pull you and the lens forward. They didn't ask your name in return, but you managed to bumblingly introduce yourself as you lurch along into their hive. At home on Earth, you had a thing about garages. You thought it was interesting to scope the sort of stuff people ended up accumulating. You've seen some real gems in your day, a collection of singing and dancing novelty plant figurines, a small army of Furbies without any fur, the beat-up remains of some kind of cat mascot costume. The inside of Charun's hive is as if every single weird garage you've ever seen converged to exist simultaneously in the same cave, the platonic ideal of garages. It's hard to believe that someone lives here. If you look closer, though, you begin to notice homey comforts tucked in among the metal junkyard scraps and broken furniture piled over the floors all the way up along the craggly cave walls. A reciprocoon sits on a ledge on one wall, and you think that's a kitchen cabinet wedged into another? So what do you think? It's pretty cozy, you say, giving them a double thumbs up. The stalactites are a nice touch. I meant about my art. Oh, the art, of course. You cast around desperately. Charun's hive is such a jumble of miscellany that it's impossible for you to figure out which of it is art materials, which are finished artworks, and which are Charun's actual belongings. That's a pretty gnarly skull over there with the leaves and the eye sockets. The angle at which the umbrella sticks out of that lawn chair is really compelling. You settle on a purple object on the corner that looks more like a traditional sculpture than a bunch of household items stuck together. Those curves, that amaranthine hue, truly an inspiring piece. Charun looks at you strangely. That's just the load gaper. You don't know much about art, do you? Busted. No, you really don't. Romilly had taught you the importance of giving the people what they want, and Amisha had taught you the importance of putting a tarp down before lopping off a head so blood or paint doesn't get all over the floor. But you hadn't learned very much about actually creating art from them. As you gaze around the cave again, you find that you really want to understand. Clearly this is something that's important to Charun, otherwise why would they spend the majority of their time on it? You too wish to experience the marvels of the creative process. If only there was a way for you to learn. MSPA readers becoming cultured. If you want to that badly, you could make something out of what I've collected. Really? But they must have worked so hard to find all this. Is it really fine for you to just dick around with it? You're surprised to see that Charun looks pleased at what you're saying. It's maybe the most expressive you've seen them since you've met. All art is dicking around. Looks like you are already starting to get it. You smile proudly. And anyway, if you make something sucky, they shrug their shoulders. I can just take it apart again and reuse its separate components to make something else. Your smile flags a little. Where do you want to start? You rub your chin thoughtfully. Wandering over to the lawn chair with the umbrella in it, a pile of fabric is stacked on top. You rifle through it until you find some colors you like. Then you walk across to the other side of Charun's hive, searching for other items you might be able to use. Charun doesn't offer much in terms of guidance aside from cautioning you away from a couple of objects that are actually finished artworks. Whoops. You end up with an armful of knickknacks that you put down in front of what is now a lamppost, but will soon be your canvas of choice. Then you get to work. The fabric you twirl all around the post. You tie the smaller objects, a snow globe, an old boot, a fancy Santa, onto it with a string. On top, you perch a rubber Walmart goose that makes a majestically horrible noise when pressed. As your art piece comes together under your hands, you take a few steps back every now and then to appraise it from further away, making adjustments whenever you find something you're not happy with. Finally, it's complete. You turn to ask Charun's new opinion, newly flushed with pride and adrenaline from having successfully made a thing. They don't look very impressed. Your face falls. What's wrong? Did you use too much orange? Were the scattered Lucis teeth a little too out there? Listen, you're overthinking this. Just do what feels right. You frowned. Don't think at all then? Let your instincts drive you? Thinking a little is probably good too. Okay, don't overthink it, but don't abandon rational thought altogether. Let your feelings guide you, but not completely. Pretty vague, but sure, you'll give it another shot. You strip the lamppost back down. This time, you don't spend too long regarding it in all its new metal glory. You begin working immediately, whipping around Charun's hive in a flurry of cave dust and determination, grabbing things as soon as you lay eyes on them. Charun looks more and more fascinated the longer you're at it. It's not long until their eyes are positively gleaming. Soon, they're taking step after tentative step towards you, as if drawn to you by the sheer force of your artistic energies. They look like they might want to join in, actually. Is that okay? I see what you're going for, I think. Your vibe has got me all inspired. Of course, the more the merrier. You'd love to see what the two of you could create together. With a barely there smile, Charun plants a traffic cone at the base of the lamppost with great aplomb, and you're off. It's all a blur after that. The two of you move in unison like you're co-piloting a Jaeger, except instead of a giant robot, you're steering a feverish, creatively propelled fugue state. Wow, I think we're almost done. You stand back from your newly forged pile of bric-a-brac, mopping the sweat from your brow. They're right, you're almost finished. Almost. You need to add the finishing touch, the piece de resistance, and you know just the thing. With great conviction, you pick up a box from the floor, tearing it open so that its contents fall all over your sculpture. Oh no. My polysacchariferious polysacchariferous, I can speak, slats. You freeze. Were those cooking ingredients? You seem to have gotten carried away. You start apologizing, but Charun is already waving your words away. It's fine. It looks better like this. Too good to waste as food. Anyway, I can find other things to eat. You both regard your creation, heaving for breath. You're done. As exhausted as you are, a wonderful calm settles over you as you admire the result of your hard work. It's beautiful. It really, really is. You don't know how, because you don't think you'd actually done anything different compared to your first try. Maybe you just got lucky? But regardless of exactly how it came about, this is one of the most bizarrely sublime things you think you've ever laid eyes on in your life. And the longer you stare at it, the more layers and depth reveal themselves to you, like the petals of a newly bloomed flower opening to the sunlight of spring. Abruptly, irresistibly, you feel yourself gripped in the throes of profound new knowledge. Charun's artworks are pointless and weird, but perhaps that's what gives them their charm. In such an uncertain and violent world, where troll cults troll, where you might be trapped in an endless Sisyphean journey across the planet in search of new friends, for a brief moment you can have this. You can stand here awash and appreciative what the fuck at this masterpiece you've crafted out of a bunch of other people's trash, marveling at how you've birthed something greater than yourself. Sometimes, trash can be beautiful. Sometimes, things that are trash are beautiful. You think you understand now. This is what Charun must be endeavoring to teach you. You beam at them, glowing with the joy of your discovery. Yeah, sure. If you say so. Oh. Friendship. Oh. That is the most Nepeta looking symbol we've seen. Yes. Wanshi. Oh, cute. Very cute. Hey, now that you've gone and thought about the concept of purpose, you might as well make one up for yourself. You turn your walk toward the book hive. A handful of your friends hang out there. And there are a few rooms that are generally pretty danger-free, so why not? It's a little difficult to make yourself walk past the spookier rooms, but you've managed to avoid the siren song of the brain room once more. Your destination tonight is the room you usually watch your chill friends do homework in. It's understandable, after your office experience with Tyrona, why this is their neutral meeting ground. Unfortunately, a casual stroll through the stacks uncovers no friends at all. Damn. You consider trying out a higher stakes locale, then when, wait, you see a shoe peeking out from one of the bigger hexagonal book hole things. Shelves? It really doesn't maximize space to have shelves shaped like that. Whatever. If you get caught up in trying to make paltry shit like troll bookshelves make sense, you'll drive yourself to madness before you can figure out if this shoe belongs to someone you know. You walk toward it, and the shoe is revealed to be on the strut pod of a troll whose head is barely peeking out over a book. And nope, a jade, but not one of your friends. Whoever it is curls up smaller in the hexagon, burying her face deeper into scribble journal of a cullable wiggler. Oh. It's not the most inviting posture, to be sure. The polite thing to do would be to keep moving, probably, but you feel a little off about that. You gently nudge your foot into hers where it still peeks out of the shelf and ask if she's okay. It'll clear your conscience, if nothing else. The book lowers. I'm great. Just going on a journey of the imagination through some classic literature. Very classic. Nothing to see here. Ah man, it's another kid. You know young trolls have to handle themselves as much as older ones, but as well acquainted as you are with the facade of pretending you're exactly where you're supposed to be, you get the feeling she's not exactly telling the truth. So you're equipped to help. Plus, it's not like you haven't befriended a few teen sweep equivalents here on Alternia already. You successfully didn't get murdered by Amisha, and you did a passable job of befriending Tyrona and Karako. I did get murdered by her because she decided not to murder me. Like, she definitely slit both of my wrists. I still Why does the game start like that? There's so much blood at the very beginning. Though sometimes you wake up shaking, the remnants of dreams where you felt them on loop in your brain, you shake that horror from your mind and try to look as non-threatening as possible. Not that it's particularly hard for you as you speak. I'm gonna ask if she's seen the brain room. You get the feeling she might need some help, so you ease into it. Maybe she'll open up a bit as you talk. You tell her this book hive has a huge gallery full of brains in jars, if she wants to go check it out. Oh, whoa! What's a brain? I love her. I want to see. She unfolds herself from her hiding spot, brushing invisible dust off her skirt as she stands up. She rocks back on her heels and cocks her head, her locks bouncing against her shoulders. She's so cute. I'm Wanshi. Also, I know who you are, if you were wondering. I wouldn't go wandering off with just anyone, quest for brains or not. I may be only 5.5 sweeps, but I'm not stupid. Ooh. I love her. And what's the math on that? What's half a sweep? Oh, whoa. She's not like, she's almost 6, which means it's almost time for her to be given a name. She seems less afraid, but she's still got a nervous edge to her voice, so you try to be a force of calm, a real motherfucking Gale plug of zen, stinking up the place with your chill vibes. You walk together towards the atrium, making small talk on the way. You apologize if you made it seem like she didn't look like she belonged here. You're just not used to seeing young jades outside the caverns. She sides-eye you like she's weighing the implications of what you just said. Oh, mood. How much Homestuck have you read? So I know, for context, I need to know now. Okay, I see there's no use trying to fool you. I may have done a small jailbreak. I love her. Oh? Do they not have enough books in the caverns or something? She brushes you off in favor of her own question. Of course we have books. You didn't answer me before. What's a brain? Oh, Jade. Okay. Wait, did you stop? I have another. If you stop like right on the page where you meet her, I have a friend who literally stopped there years ago and has not picked up the story since. So that means you never got to the trolls. Let me tell you about Alternia. It sucks here. Literally, I think it's the same page. Was it the part where you're playing the flute with her and like the whole keyboard makes her do different things? Because if that's where you stop, that's literally where my friend stops. Well, apparently it'd be like that. It's a good page. Who is leering at me from in here? Don't like that. Oh, right. You round the curve of the room and point in the window. Think pans. Oh, whoa! On her tiptoes, she peeks into the bottom of the window. I've never seen one up close before. She tries the door handle, but it's still as locked as it always was. She looks at you expectantly. Well, can we get in or what? A surly-eyed guard starts not so subtly watching you, drumming her fingers on the handle of her mace. Ah, globes. I really appreciate that I'm starting to speak like a native Alternian, huh? You were trying so hard to be cool and approachable that you fucked up and forgot that this room was off limits. Oh, there's two. Were there always? There weren't always this many people. Don't like that. Like, there was just these eyes. You couldn't even see. Don't like this. Taking a kid to break and enter is, well, it's pretty much par for the course, actually. But it's not what you meant to be doing. Or maybe, no, I don't. Nah, you saw it, looking only. And now you're done. Great, time to move along. Oh, thank you for the follow, CST. Can't even read usernames today. Lame. Wanshi doesn't pick up on the danger behind her, even with your hurried speech. You change the subject to why she broke out of the caverns, if not for more books, and start walking, hoping she'll follow you. She doesn't. Oh, I was trying to get to BeastCon. It's a convention. Thank you. Thank you for the lurk and have fun playing Animal Crossing. I've never actually played Animal Crossing. I should. I'm going to get the one where it comes out on Switch, definitely. It's a convention for all kinds of cool stuff, but I want to go for the Soldier Per Beast meetup. Warrior cats? Warrior cats? Bramble pelts! Oh my god! Okay, no. Her hair was just perfectly in the way. I see. We got Soldier Per Beast! Warrior cats! My fanfiction is pretty popular, uwu. I have a lot of fans going and I thought maybe I can make friends with some of them. But I don't know where anything is out here, so I got lost. She takes a breath and a step, finally, but stops and claps her hands together. Oh! The guard starts walking. You eyeball the exits all the way down the curved staircase. She is something. I really love her. I'm happy. Most of the trolls in this game have been great, actually. There's a couple. There was one that I hate. There's some that like suck, but I like them. And then there's people like her, and they're great. You can make it, but you can't just leave her here to take the fall. Wanshi keeps talking, oblivious. Anira is always complaining about how you're everyone's best friend and how you know so much. Me? Like me? Specifically? MSPA reader? Do you know where the con is? Oh, whoa. We could go together. The guard gets closer. You gotta make a decision, and fast. Take her and pretend to take her, and I'm very worried about what the difference is. I want to know what pretend to take her is. So I'm going to do that one. You've heard of the con she's talking about. You were thinking of going with Tigiri and Pulpa anyway, but the list of activities seemed a little too dangerous, honestly. These past few months you've been up to your ass in close claws, and you'd quite frankly like to cut back on them, including, you know, the one your ass is currently embroiled in. You make some non-committal noises as you work out how to tell her. Wanshi crosses her arms and leans back against the brain room door, which the guard really does not like, if her increased speed and mace brandishment is any indication. Okay, yeah, you say, let's go right now. Your hype is contagious, even though you're completely faking it. She clasps and bounds behind you down the stairs. Okay, I wasn't aware that I knew where the con was, so I thought that pretend to take her, like I thought the difference might be like, I don't know, I guess I thought take her felt like I was gonna be pretending too, because me, Antoinette, here in the real world didn't know where the con was. I did not realize MSPA Reader did. She clasps and bounds behind you down the stairs. A quick tug at her wrist pulls her out of the mace's trajectory as the guard chucks it at you from above. It thuds mightily against the wall by the door, and you both make it outside unbloodied. Oh, I'm unbloodied for once. I appreciate that. Checking behind you to confirm you're not being followed, you don't stop running until you're both safely around the corner. Wanshi giggles through catching her breath. Wow, that was a close one. Librarians, am I right? Yeah, they always just try to murder you. She grins and takes your hands. Can you believe we only just met and already we're having bonding hijinks? I didn't think making a friend would be so simple. Alright, see you. Thanks for stopping by. Hopefully your internet gets better. I can't wait to hang out even more at the con. Ah, her smile is a knife in your pusher. She's so excited about your budding friendship, and here you are, gutlessly hiding the fact that you have no intention of taking her from one dangerous situation to another. Now I'm sad. I really wish I knew I would have taken her. I would have taken her to the con. Maybe you would have agreed if you were in a braver mood, but you just don't know if you're up for more life or death babysitting adventures right now. What you should do probably is get her home. You don't tell her any of this, of course. Instead, you agree and then check Gorgle maps. The con is down the road to the left, the caverns are to the right. Leading her straight back home would be too obvious, so you take a meandering route. Everything you pass seems to impress her. The frankly bonkers range of architectural styles, the shivery carnivorous plants, the burned out wreckage of someone's hive, and the flickering starlight all around. She is observing a worm crossing the sidewalk, out here exposed, all squishy and brave, oh whoa, when you point out a cool rock, eager to keep her wonderment going. Really? She puts a hand on her cock tip. You think we don't have rocks in the cavern? Try harder. She rolls her eyes at you, but she's still grinning. You accept the challenge and tell her there's something she's definitely never seen up ahead. Bring it. You lead the way. It's been a hot minute since you've been back over here. You're interested to see it again. Is it my spaceship? Still, the side jaunt feels like delaying the inevitable. You know she's going to be pissed at you when she realizes you tricked her, but you can't help wanting to show off more cool stuff while you can. Anything to see that wide-eyed appreciation for any tiny new thing. Ah! What's left of your spaceship comes into view as you round the bend. There really isn't that much left to show off, but Wanshi is still into it. She runs over and starts inspecting the rubble. You wonder what happened to the freshly missing parts. Maybe Vickery has come back to scavenge some more. Shit. Vickery. You still haven't talked to that guy in forever. No, you haven't talked to that guy in forever. You vow to text him later tonight, but you still feel guilty. It's hard to juggle all these beautiful friends, even with how viscerally you crave them. You want to be good for everyone, but there are so many things that can mean, and you never really stopped feeling like you're treading water. Wanshi emerges from the hull, clambering up on the top of a black metal box and waving around some inscrutable rusty bullshit. Oh, whoa! There are so many fiddly little parts. This was how you got here? She observes you for a second or two, then nods her approval. That's pretty cool. Any old idiot can wreck a spaceship. It takes someone with brains to break out of the brooding caverns. Well, when you put it that way, you're completely right, Uwu. She winks and pockets some of the pieces. Are you ready to keep moving? I don't want to miss the meetup, and it's happening right after the horse-a-roni jousting, which should be ending pretty soon. You're not sure what to tell her. For some reason, Vickery won't leave your mind. Your sorry ass hasn't managed to keep up with all the friends you did earn. Maybe it's for the best that you're deciding to take her home. Her safety is more important than her liking you. You sigh and start to fess up. Even if she's left here now, you're far enough away from the con grounds that she'd miss it. You were afraid to go, afraid she'd run off if you didn't stick with her, afraid of not knowing what to do next. You what? You made me miss my one chance to do something fun for a change? Oh no, no, don't cry. Oh no. Just because you're too much of a scaredy purr beast to go to a fun nerd party? It wasn't just that, you also wanted to keep her safe, to take her home. Oh no. Her tears. I don't like this. She stomps her foot in frustration, tears forming in the corners of her eyes. Why do you think you can just make decisions for other people? Why don't you go home if that's so great? Your mouth shuts, words gone. She follows your gaze back to the wreck of your only shot out of and winces. I didn't mean... I know you can't. I just wanted... Oh... She sits down in the grass, defeated. You sit too, a ginger distance away. No, her anger is fair. God, this sucks. You hadn't meant to deprive someone of a small joy here on this bitch of an Alternia. Yeah, it's the worst. Yeah. She sighs and runs her claws along the tops of the spiny purple grass. After a few minutes of silence, she speaks. Too late to do anything about it now. I'm still super angry with you. But I'm glad you were honest, I guess, even if it took you too long. I'm not used to people being straight with me. I feel like the older everyone gets, the more they lie, or at least the more annoying it is that they don't expect you to notice when they're lying. Not that I can super tell how old you are. Your alien physiology is a little inscrutable, but you know more or less. Your palm husk buzzes, interrupting your train of thought. You both look at your two new texts. Are you sure you still don't want to join? Things are beginning to get interesting over here, and you may have the privilege of seeing me at peak performance if you come by. Stay put. There's a troller bear on the loose. I don't want you on the already very long casualty list. You do a quick gurgle, and holy shit, social media is already on fire with the news of a con attraction getting free and mangling attendees left and right. The familiar ghostly feeling of a near miss shivers down your back. Whoa. Her eyebrows pull together as she works through the images she's seeing on the screen and what it could have meant for her. She's still a little teary from before. I guess, thanks? Not that you did it on purpose, but I guess maybe it worked out okay? I do love not being trampled. but it still sucks I didn't get to make friends. You don't want to be too presumptuous, especially after all that, but maybe this day might still be salvageable? A new acquaintance-wise. Wanshi blinks back her disappointment and puts on an attempt at a smile. Maybe. Might as well see. What was she gonna do with her new friends? Maybe on your way back to the caverns, you guys could talk about soldier purr beasts, or his scary horse jousting, or whatever else she wanted to do there. She stands up and crosses her arms, looking you over, her smile turning real. You think you got what it takes to roleplay? You stand up too. You're super cool with roleplay. You've basically been doing that since you landed. So what's the deal again, you ask. You start walking her home. As you start walking her home. Magic cats? Magic? What are you, some kind of wiggler? No, there's no magic in soldier purr beasts. She rolls her eyes at you and then hunches her shoulders, claws spread, eyes darting from bush to bush along the sidewalk ahead of you. And seeming the power of your own wits, the sorcery of all your senses aligning at once as you get ready to pounce, the hypnotic spell like rhythm of your own pusher beating in time with your praise. She straightens up and grins. That kind of stuff, hello? Anyway, it's really fun. Let's play. She's bounced back so fully, you get the feeling that not many people indulge her in this. It reminds you of your younger self, and your heart scrunches up a bit. Fuck yeah, let's play. You mean heck. Heck yeah. Don't patronize me. Fuck yeah. Wanshi giggles. Fuck yeah. Look at this baby! Wanshi is very good. Okay, so little lost you can be from the space. Little lost you can be from the space castle. Let's call you Twinklepaw. I'll be Wildwist from the Solar Glare clan. Ooh. She clearly seems to think that you should be impressed or intimidated by this, but you don't really know what's going on, so you nod. Twinklepaw. Got it. So you'll stumble upon me while I'm taking down a nut creature, scaring it away with your incompetence. Sound good? She peppers her walk with skips, talking up a veritable storm of world building. Her voice gets low and rumbly when she quits setting the scene and gets into character. Little one. I literally am physically incapable of making my voice rumbly at the moment. Little one. Oh wait, apparently not. What do you think you're doing? Setting Strutpaw in our territory. You've made me lose my creature feast. What do you have to say for yourself? Ah, fuck, it's your turn. You didn't see where you were going. You're sorry, though. You know how hard it is to come by a good meal. Fool. You think me so poor a tracker that I am hurt by such a loss? I can find another. I find offense only in that you clearly do not respect the bond between hunter and hunted. You blunder in and interrupt the sacred rhythm of my fangs, its neck, or its claws, my face. Now neither of us can know who would have prevailed. Ah, geez, you're still really sorry about your strut paws. You're constantly sticking those into other people's sacred dances. Maybe there are some more nut guys over there. Wanshi stops walking and gives you a withering look. Is that really the best you can do? No, you'll try again. How dare this purr beast accuse you of such a thing? Your intentions are as noble as the wild pusher that thumps in your, bone cabinet? Wanshi bounces, hands and fists, grinning. Oh, whoa! A little over the top, but not really a StarCast approach. But you're getting there. You practice finding your soldier's characterization sweet spot as you walk her home. You take the most direct route, but you let her stop to explain purr beast grooming habit. Computer, you good? Don't know what that was, but okay. To breathe in the rotting perfume of a flower, and to appreciate yet another sidewalk braving worm. Eventually, you reach the cave entrance you know. Oh! Hi, Lanira. Hi, Lanira. Please get off of Five Knives. Please stop being Five Knives, Lanira, right now. And standing under its eave is Lanira, a very pissed looking Lanira, which isn't your favorite mode for that particular friend. Where have you been? I said be right back. I said I'd be right back. Not, hey, go run off and leave me to make excuses for you. Well, I'm back now, so you can get over it. I know you won't tattle. You don't want Bronya to know you lost track of me. Ooh. Watch yourself. Lanira glares fireballs at her and then turns to you, softening the tiniest of bits. Thank you for bringing the short one back. Do you want to come in? You appreciate her politeness, but nah, you should go and let the jade settle down and everything. Plus, you have another friend you need to check up on. Before you can say anything to Wanshi about how you hope she ended up having an okay time, she scurries off around the corner, calling back over her shoulder. Wait, I have something I want to give you before you go. So you wait. Lanira keeps looking at you, arms still crossed. You better be glad she's okay. I mean, you say that like Hey, Lanira, you're saying that like I'm the one who broke her out. Lanira. If she got hurt, I could never... I mean, I would be in so much trouble. Oh, it's, Soldier Purbeast. Soldier Purbeast. You don't have to call her on secretly caring because Wanshi comes running back with something in her hands, her hair bounding behind her. Here, read this, then maybe when you come back to visit me, you'll be, a little more informed about the Soldier Purbeast universe, Ulu. I only have one person to play with here, and he usually pretends he's too cool, like he doesn't absolutely love Purbeast cast drama. She bows a little as she offers the book to you. It's tattered with love. It's my personal copy, but I think I can trust you with it, Twinkle Paw. What do you say, Owo? You clutch it to your chest and tell her you will guard it with all the honor and spitfire Starcast has to his hallowed name. Best book buddies, Lanira. I roleplayed with the resident Tome Wriggler. Okay. So there's two more friends to make, and then I want to figure out what the heck is up here with these, see if I can figure that out, why there's two. How do I get this one, Chixie? And then I'll stop and I'll stream again tomorrow and do these last ones. And hopefully after that, I'll be able to do Press to Quest. And by the time when I'm done with all that tomorrow, it should be time to stop streaming. Okay. Wait a minute. Oh! You crash landed on Alternia 16 long episodes ago, and sometimes you feel like you've been here forever. You've had many adventures and met many Alternians, some, all, none of whom have become your friends. But now, for some reason, you have a hunch that you're near the end of your Alternian travels. For one thing, you seem to be coming to the edge of the populated region you've been walking through all the time you've been here. For another, the intense craving that has animated you throughout your journey feels like it might be waning. It's not quite gone, but like a diner who's stuffed himself to bursting but is still seeking that last sweet morsel that will make his meal complete, you're still on the prowl for the very sweetest morsel of friendship. Oh, wait. Oh! Oh, wait, a car cat! Or is this, you, look, you can't exist, no. Fozzer, let's just go. The night has turned foggy. You can't see far in any direction, but you seem to be surrounded on every side by bare ground, hummocked and pitted almost like a weird abstract sculpture and covered in greenish moss. Based on the experiences you've had with Alternian flora, you imagine the moss is probably poisonous, acidic, explosive, or something of that nature. Suddenly, a shadow looms up out of the darkness, making you jump, but it's only a leaning signpost. As you move closer, you can see the sign says, "Welcome to Happy Absence Pit Park." Before you can figure out what that might be, you hear a voice muttering to itself in the fog, and a sound like dirt being shoveled. Shovel, shovel, toil and trouble. Low bloods of the world unite. You move cautiously toward the voice until the figure of a troll emerges from the fog. He seems to be digging in the hard, bare ground. There is a tide in the affairs of trolls which, taken at the flood, leans on into the workers' paradise. You clear your throat and the troll turns swiftly. "Who's there? Who's there, I say?" You announce soothingly that you're just a poor wayfaring stranger. Not a ghost or any nonsense like that. You confirm that you are not. Good, because I don't believe in them. I'm a dialectical materialist. Well, if you're not a ghost, who are you? You explain that you're a humble alien who recently, well, not so recently, landed, well, crashed on Alternia, and who's been looking ever since for... Here you blushingly trail off into a mumble. The troll snorts and comes close to study you. His breath is not of the freshest. It's not of the freshest. An alien. Well, you are the color of cheese, but it could be makeup. You could be a high blood in disguise come to watch poor little Fozzer Valles pursuing his humble profession of pit patrooper for some unknown reason of your own. Fozzer rubs at the exposed skin of your arm to see if the makeup will come off. It doesn't, but he's still suspicious. A real alien would know what outer space is like. Describe outer space to me. You describe attack ships on fire. I feel offended for Carcat. I feel how... Apologize right now. Apologize right now to Carcat Vantus. Hi. It's good. I made a couple friends in the game today, and I'm almost done with it. And tomorrow I should be able to finish this game and start the next one, which just came out. And then, you know, I'll go back to streaming things that aren't Homestuck games. You describe attack ships on fire off the shoulder of Orion and watching sea beams glitter in the dark near the Tannhauser Gate. You express the belief that all those moments will be lost in time like tears in rain. These authentic depictions seem to satisfy Fozzer. He nods his head and seems to think. He doesn't appear to be a fast thinker. Finally, he seems to have an idea. You're welcome. Do the cheese entities where you are from have a strong consciousness of class struggle? You have no idea what he's talking about, but you were always good at guessing the right answer on multiple choice tests. You assure him that the people where you come from have such a strong consciousness of class struggle that they use it to jack up their cars when they get flat tires. A big smile overspreads Fozzer's face, and he pumps his fist in the air. Pleased to meet you, comrade alien. All power to the workers. I imagine that finding me performing the honest labor of the working class makes you feel right at home. You assure him that it does. This music is really getting to me right now. I suppose that you wish you could share in the simple proletarian joys and sorrows of the Alternian oppressed classes. You're not sure what proletarian means, but sharing joys and sorrows sounds like a hopeful prelude to friendship. So you say you were just thinking you would like to share that kind of joys and sorrows. Easily done, comrade. Here, take this soil perturbation lance. You can enter into solidarity with the Alternian working class right now. No, don't thank me. Freedom, brotherhood, and equality is my motto. Conduct your perturbations right here, if you please. He points to where he was shoveling, and you begin shoveling there too. The moss that covers the ground is tough as leather, and the Alternian soil is rocky, hard, and unforgiving. No surprise there. And before long, you're sweating profusely, but no exertion is too great for the pure pursuit of friendship. Fozzer watches you labor with brotherly satisfaction. Why is the music like this right now? Class solidarity is a wonderful thing, isn't it? From each according to his ability to each according to his need. You look like a working cheese, but your muscular development is impressive. You look like a walking cheese, but your muscular development is impressive. So, just to pass the time while you labor in solidarity, what do you think of our planet? What has been your impression of it from your visit from outer space? Oh, thank you. Let's see how you react to the truth. Alternia sucks, dude. Alternia is not great. It's by far the worst place you've ever seen or heard of. The feeling comes over you suddenly that nothing can be more important than the truth. Truth is at the foundation of all real friendship. Truth sets you free. Honesty is the best policy. So you take a deep breath and say that you hope you won't give offense, but that in your opinion, Alternia is the nastiest, ugliest, cruelest, most inhospitable, and most unfair place you've ever seen or heard of in a long life of travel and study. Even the plants are bloodthirsty. Even the soil is hard and mean. You've made some/many/no friends here. But you've heard it's also possible to make friends with lions, bears, killer whales, and other wild and dangerous creatures. In fact, often here on Alternia, you felt that you've been locked in a cage with a bunch of wild and dangerous creatures. As you've talked, you've been watching Fozzer anxiously for signs of anger. You're surprised to see that instead he seems to be loving it. And what about our political system? You've already put your foot in it, so you go ahead and put the other one in too. You express the opinion that a violent, rigidly stratified, insectile social structure created solely to generate soldiers for a mad project to conquer the entire galaxy might raise eyebrows in some quarters. You admire natural selection and survival of the fittest as much as the next person, but this is overkill on a titanic scale. As you've been speaking, Fozzer's smile has grown wider and wider. He's shown other signs of approval, such as jumping up and down and whirling around. He pumps his fist in the air. I really don't like why is the music like this during this conversation? Forward to perfect socialism. I really want to know what troll socialism is like. It's so good to talk to someone who hasn't been hypnotized from Wrigglerhood with counter-revolutionary pap. Someone who sees conditions on Alternia for what they really are, who sees the evil of the High Bloods. Someone who will march in the vanguard of the workers' revolution to face unflinchingly the onslaught of the aristocracy, perhaps, nay, probably to die in the hail of bullets, but never turn their back on the people. Oh, let me embrace you, comrade alien. He does so. He's oily and smells like mossy soil and poor ooze, but this does not dampen your spirits. What better preamble for making a suggestion of friendship? Agreeing with people about politics never fails to bring friendship closer. But before you can bring it up, Fozzer, having first kissed you on both cheeks, continues. But we mustn't allow our celebration of the People's Revolution to interfere with the honest labor that ennobles us. I'm holding you back from your ticket to the workers' paradise. Please proceed with your soil perturbation. All power to the people. Death to arbitrary human spectral discrimination. Forward, comrade. He waves his hand with a flourish and you start digging again. You wonder if it would be just as revolutionary if you traded places so Fozzer could do the digging and you would do the speechifying, but you don't wish to disturb the perfect harmony now existing between the two of you. Instead, you use your little available breath to inquire about what all the soil perturbation is in aid of. Why, a coal pit, of course. Didn't you see the sign? This is the Happy Absence Pit Park Fozzer Vela's proprietor. I can speak. I can read and speak. Alternier's reactionary tradition is to just put dig coal pits anywhere without a second thought, but our revolutionary future demands that we have more respect for the dead, so I created this wonderful innovation, the Pit Park. There is a clown concert being held not far from here, so I anticipate a brisk demand shortly. Best to be ready for these things. Having a lot of dead clowns lying around rotting on the property is unpleasant, not to mention unsanitary. Get them underground pronto is our motto here at Happy Absence Pit Park. You're wondering privately whether a little class solidarity couldn't be extended to the Purple Bloods, remembering your dear friend Karako Pirate when Fozzer seems to give a jump. No, that is not ghosts. Is anyone surprised? Grateful for an excuse to stop digging, you turn to look in the direction Fozzer is staring, leaning on your soil perturbation lands. You don't see anything but fog. You ask what is not ghosts. Nothing is. I am a dialectical materialist, and if any ghosts come around the Happy Absence Pit Park, they should be aware that I won't believe in them, so they might as well go somewhere else. You confess that you don't see anything but the foggy darkness and humped and pitted ground, where you now guess piles of cold Alternians' exoskeletons are buried in the coal pits. You don't see any ghosts because there's no such thing, but the past few nights I thought I saw beams of light shining up out of the ground. Almost as if, metaphorically, of course, some of the exoskeletons in the coal pit had gotten hold of some flashlights and were shining them up through chinks in the soil. Look, there it is again. This time you see it, a column of light that flashes up through the fog and is gone, seeming to come from a crack in the ground, which it briefly illuminates in blinding white. Fascinated, you move toward the crack, which is now dark and invisible again. What are you doing? You look at Fozzer in surprise. He seems terrified. You ask tactfully whether he doesn't think you ought to see what that is. For example, it could be some infrastructure malfunction that could blow the Happy Absence Pit Park and all its inhabitants, living and dead, sky high. You're not even sure they have infrastructure in Alternia, but one can't be too careful. Well, maybe you're right. We are fearless revolutionary cadres after all. You can hear his teeth clattering. You move towards where you think the flash came from, Fozzer close behind you peering over your shoulder. You can't help wondering where he'll be when the vanguard of his revolution is braving hails of bullets. You very much hope that his revolution, if it ever comes, won't happen while you're around. Just then, a whole series of lights flash silently up from the ground, making columns through the fog. Fozzer jumps and howls behind you. Non-existent! You tell him there's undoubtedly a logical explanation, though you have to admit that you have a weird feeling just now when the lights appeared, like a momentary dizziness or feeling of discontinuity. But you're more curious than ever now. Murmuring comforting things to Fozzer, you start digging right around where the lights you just saw came from. Then it's weird, because you break through some kind of thin crust, as if the soil in that particular place is just a few inches thick over a brittle surface that your shovel goes right through like old pottery. You wonder whether you've inadvertently dug into an old coal pit, but what would bright light be doing coming out of an old coal pit? And in some weird way, it doesn't feel like a coal pit. It feels like something metaphysical. Like reality itself is particularly thin right in that spot, and you've broken through the very fabric of it with your soil perturbation lens. You dig around the edges of the hole, enlarging it until it's about a foot wide. The darkness within makes the darkness of the Alternian night seem... Andrew Hussey standing in the corner like... The darkness within makes, it seem bright by comparison. It's so dark that the soil falling into it at the part of your soil perturbation lens poking it into it seemed to vanish completely, as if on the other side of that hole reality itself gives out. You and Fozzer stare curiously down into this hole. But if this is basically the edge of the game, what's making the light? But where's the light coming from, though? Suddenly, a blinding but strangely blank light bursts up out of the hole into your faces, and at the same time there's a deafening sound which seems to vibrate the very framework of reality. That is actually possible in canon, isn't it? Like a gigantic needle... Like a gigantic needle scratching a gigantic record. Am I a joke to you? Alright then. I'm not gonna make that sound effect. Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Imagine the sound of a record scratch, because I'm not gonna do it. You're standing in the foggy night holding a soil perturbation lance that has been handed to you by Fozzer Belyes. He points to where he's just been digging, and you begin digging in the same place. The moss that covers the ground is tough as leather, and the Alternian soil is rocky, hard, and unforgiving. No surprise there. I mean, mood, but like. And before long, you're sweating profusely. But you feel strange, like you were just standing somewhere else, doing something else, seeing something else. The after images of a blinding light and a deafening sound seem to linger in your eyes and ears, but around you is nothing but dark fog and bare ground humped and pitted. You must have had a dizzy spell. You shake it off and begin pertubing the soil. No exertion is too great for the pursuit of friendship, after all. Fozzer watches you with satisfaction. Honest work is a wonderful thing. All hell the old regime, eh? You look like a walking cheese, but your muscular development is impressive. What do you think of our planet? What has been your impression of it on your visit? I'm going to say the same thing I said last time, and I want to see what happens. If we end up back here, I'm going to say the other thing. Didn't know I was playing a horror game. By far the worst place I've ever seen or heard of. Yeah, the feeling overcomes you that suddenly nothing can be more important than the truth. Truth is the foundation of all real friendship. Truth sets you free. Honesty is the best policy. Yeah, this is all the same. The plants are bloodthirsty. Yeah. Oh. No doubt you could have anticipated that blunt honesty like this would give offense. You're right. And indeed it seems to have done so. As you finish your remarks, Fozzer is frowning darkly. So you've come to Alternia as an uninvited guest only to criticize and judge our civilization, eh? No. You know enough about our society, our billions of years of evolution, and our painstaking rise from the mud-dwelling insectile ancestors, the political and sociological theories of our statesmen, philosophers, and scientists to make those judgments, do you? Well, no doubt you've done studies establishing what would happen if the hemospectrum groups were placed in different relations to one another. If, for example, rust bloods were the highest group and fuchsia bloods the lowest. Well, no, but I suppose your planet is so similar to Alternia that you have a firm basis on which to apply your preconceptions to us. Not at all, but... And surely you aliens are similar enough biologically and psychologically to trolls to know how we feel about our own society. I thought not. I guess from the very first that you were nothing but a dilettante faux socialist pseudo-intellectual expounding your ivory tower theories without the least idea what you were talking about. Well, smarty pants alien, I suggest that you take your cheese-like person and your theories home to your own planet. It won't be long for her most high imperial condescension conquers your arm of the galaxy so that we Alternians can return the favor by standing in judgment over your society and politics. In the meantime, I bid you good Siderium. And with that, Fozzer Vela seizes the soil perturbation lands, as well as your hopes and dreams, and stalks off into the foggy night. Doc Scratch, what did you do? I suppose it's no worse than a lot of places with some good points and some bad. As a guest, it is only polite to say nice things about your host home planet. Besides, meeting Fozzer has stoked your desire for a sweet friendship morsel, and a little praise and flattery often goes a long way to make people like you. So with the little breath you have to spare from your digging, you tell Fozzer that you found Alternia most interesting. The fierce rush of life here induces a sultry wakefulness, and boredom is virtually unknown. Also, the social structure arising from the hemospectrum and the multidimensional relationship matrix is very unusual, producing a fascinating array of possible interactions among people. You're looking forward to the day when you can tell your grandchildren about it. As you're speaking, a satisfied smile overspreads Fozzer's face. I'm glad you recognize the nobility of our ancient society, with its orderly hierarchy and naturally evolved degrees of privilege reflecting naturally evolved degrees of ability. You're pleased that your words have met with approval, but you're still a little troubled. You have an odd deja vu sensation that this whole exchange could have gone quite differently, maybe even did go quite differently sometime in the past or in some parallel universe. You inquire timidly whether the troll domination of the lower bloods by the higher on Alternia doesn't sometimes feel like oppression. Never! I myself am only a rust blood, so I lack the privileges of the higher bloods, but the most important thing for a society is that everyone should be in their appointed place and do the things they're suited for. If all the passengers in a rowboat keep their seats and row in the same direction, the boat will quickly reach its destination. But if the passengers all jump up and start running around and grabbing each other's oars, the boat will capsize and all will be lost. You remark diplomatically that Alternia isn't a rowboat rowing toward a destination. You're wrong! A planet is very much like a rowboat advancing through the black water of space, and as for our destination, all of us on Alternia aim at but a single goal every hour of every day, to serve her most high imperial condescension in conquering her glorious galaxy-wide empire. Long live the Empress! Well, you suppose the sense of being part of something larger than yourself makes up for a lot. It does. Naturally evolved systems are almost always more robust than artificially designed ones. They are. And it's true that Alternia's social structure does bring some semblance of order to a collection of 12 disparate troll subtypes. It is. Fozzer beams at you fondly. There's nothing that warms the heart like someone who thinks you're right about everything. It's so wonderful to find someone, even someone who looks like a piece of cheese, who is so intelligent and understands society and politics so perfectly. Finally, a true friend. I don't like this at all. Graveyard shift. Had a strange sense of deja vu. See, okay, I think what makes sense to me is that Doc Scratch didn't like his ideas and changed them because his whole thing is making Alternia the way it is. And I guess maybe he was a danger to that? Time to move on, I guess. Maybe this has something to do with why there's another way to end with Chixie. Maybe I literally couldn't get it before, but we'll be able to now? But I'm not gonna do that until I meet this next troll. Oh, speaking of this next troll is KK. I don't like what's happening. Oh, I see. You're gonna go. I see. But come back. I wanted to ask, and if anybody watching hasn't, when after I ask my question, that'll make sense. But if anybody watching hasn't, don't worry. I won't talk about spoilers. But I was gonna ask if you'd seen the Steven Universe movie yet. But you're probably on already. But literally, right when I was gonna ask. I guess I'm gonna meet Marvus. I don't know how to feel right now. You find yourself ambling down the road without any particular. Oh, you haven't? Um, it's on Hulu now, which is really funny to me considering that the season 5 isn't on Hulu, but the movie is. But it's not available on PlayStations, right, and probably other consoles, I'm assuming. So if you have Hulu and you want to watch it, you gotta use your computer, I guess. Because I tried finding it on my PlayStation and it didn't. That's how I watched it with Ty today. I've seen it I've seen it many times now. You find yourself ambling down the road without any particular destination in mind. It seems you don't have to do much active searching to land yourself in varying combinations of adventure and or disaster. All the vicissitudes of fate lead you. Who knows? You walk for a while like that. You've just about lost all hope of running into a wacky contrivance when your palm husk lights up with the delightful and or foreboding sound of friendship. Someone is calling you. You're less excited to. I did. I did. I did. I did. I did. I did. You're less excited to see that the person who happens to be calling you is Zebra. Only seen Saraba like that one time since I met him, and it was only they video called me for a hot second. But Zebra can just strut back in whenever he feels like it, huh? It is that I dislike Zebra, actually. It's not that you dislike Zebra precisely, it's just that you might struggle to rank him above literally any other troll you've met, including the yellow guy who loves genocide. But you're not one to leave a friend hanging. You dutifully answer the call. Ah, my good friend, you picked up. Awfully quickly, I might add. Yeah, you just love friendship. You ask Zebra why he's calling. Do I need a reason to call? This is the first time he's done this. Two different quadrants. Is the thrill of dialectical repulse not enough to make social contact with one of my dearest adversaries / friend, or maybe more, depending on whatever you feel comfortable with and interested in at any given point in time? I don't like. You have no idea how to even respond to that. Nah, I'm just fucking with you. I stand to incur material gain from your association. I need you to stay right where you are. I think this is the first time he's ever said anything to me without quadrants being around it. Well, what are you going to do? Hang up? You stand right where you are and stay on the line. You ask what Zebra is up to, but he won't say. He tells you he needs to cooperate. No, yeah, to concentrate. I can read. Eventually, you notice a strange shape resolving in the distance down the road, drawing nearer slowly but steadily. After a while longer of waiting, the figure in the distance grows close enough for you to tell that it's Zebra. Oh, that's you, you say. It looks like he's riding on some kind of incredibly cursed hover Segway. Yeah, I'm coming, sweetie. You would say that it takes maybe 15 minutes or so for him to make it the entire way over on his hover scoot. There you are. Eh. Impressed? Yeah. Impressed by my new ride? Oh yeah, you say. You're very impressed. I knew you would be. I brought it out because tonight is a very special night. Or it would be if you'd be so kind as to make me the happiest troll on Alternia. Is he like proposing to you? What? Never mind. You ask him what he's vague vlogging about. What indeed? The real question of what are you doing this evening? Literally befriending somebody, not you! As is the point of this game. I befriended you already, leave! Well, it's not like you've ever had any plans to do anything besides stupidly bumble into one ludicrous boondoggle after another. Seems like whatever he's alluding to inviting you to probably fits the bill for being included in your long itinerary of unspecified dumbass bullshit you're bound to get embroiled in anyway. Fantastic. Well, it just so happens that I managed to get my hands on 2 tickets to Clownfix. I'm not even, what? We're just yeah, that. Chill. And I thought, who better to take along than my dearest alien associate of unspecified nature? You have no idea what Clownfest is, but it's not off to a good start with the name. Oh, I should have known you wouldn't be familiar with it. It's a little sophisticated for an off-world reprobate such as yourself. Hey Zebra, why are you here again? It's a music festival centered around purple blood performers. Now normally I wouldn't trifle with a high blood entertainment, disgustingly oppressive as it is. But when you think about it, aren't clowns the most privileged class of them all? You don't ask him to explain what he means by that because everyone would be really angry reading. You're right. You know, I'm obviously supposed to meet a clown, so let's go get moshed to death in a clown pit or whatever. For some reason, I don't want to delete these saves, so like... Thanks for giving me like 1 billion slots, huh? Oh. Oh, I see what happened. Thanks for giving me 1 billion slots. I just noticed how many there are. Well, let's go get moshed to death in the clown pit. I knew you'd be there for me. All right, let's go. You know what? I'll listen to you for once. You did start that message with pay attention to your stream. So I guess I'll be a good streamer for once and I won't read your message about Homestuck meta or whatever. Alright, let's go. Zebra invites you to hop on the back of his scooter so you can head out to Clown Fest. You say you're not sure this is the most effective avenue of locomotion. Zebra tells you it's all the rage and not to be a little bitch about it. So let me tell you a little about my plans for tonight. It feels like the scooter is going even slower than it was when he arrived, now that it's struggling under the weight of 2 people. You see, my favorite rhyme juggler on the planet is going to be there tonight. His name is Marvus. You might have heard of him. He's pretty famous. You say you've never heard of him because you're an alien. Oh, right. Well, he's only the best in all of Alternia. He came up a few sweeps back when he won his first place on Slam or Get Cold. Oh, please tell me you at least know about Slam or Get Cold. You do not know about Slam or Get Cold. Well, it's a bi-sweep reality program where aspiring slam poets compete to prove who has what it takes. It's really cutthroat stuff. I mean, I think there are at least 5 decapitations on a season. I was about to say we've definitely heard about this, but it wasn't in this game. That was in Hive Swap. The competition is about skill. No matter the blood color of who's competing, the troll who wins is the troll who has the nastiest flow and dopest bars. Everyone has an equal shot. I mean, sure, a high blood has won every season to date, but it's basic biology that clowns are better at rhyming than everyone else. Even if high bloods were low bloods, that would still be true. That's equality. Yeah, makes sense. You think this is really progressive stuff he's saying? Where could he have possibly gotten so educated and smart? Oh, you flatter me. Anyway, as you know, I am deeply connected in the music industry, but because of oppressive hemospectrum systems, I'm afraid I only truly afforded downward mobility. The clown sphere is a really insular, close-knit community. But with the right hustle, I'm going to break that glass ceiling. Marvus is a perfect troll to bring me into the fold. You say this guy sounds pretty brutal. Are you sure you want to actually meet this clown? What, Marvus? I mean, sure, he does what he needs to survive in a rigidly ossified power system that can never be truly dismantled by the actions of a single individual. But that doesn't mean that he supports it. Contrary to what you might think, Marvus is a spectacularly subversive figure in the industry. If you listen to his music, really listen, you'll hear some borderline revolutionary stuff. I think he'd tear it all down if he could. I might have mentioned it, but being a clown is kind of woke. Why must I interact with Zebra again? Again. That's why I've always wanted to probe that think pan of his, really get to the bottom of his radical praxis, and help spread his message of social reform to the masses. And you're going to help me do it. After 4 hours of scooting, and one excruciatingly detailed, unbroken account of the events of the past 3 seasons of Slammer Get Cold, you arrive at Clownfest. Oh, a whole nother message, huh? We getting into it. Clownfest feels more like a circus than your idea of a music festival. In the distance is a wide open field dotted with disorganized masses of people, all gathered before a nightmarish stage you presume to be the site of the evening's main event. The entrance to the festival grounds opens up into something of a parking lot filled with whimsical tents and people selling various snacks and refreshments. You see a clown juggling what looks like at least 7 hot dogs. Absolutely ghoulish. You're glad Diamond isn't here to see this. Zebra brings you up to the gates, flashes your tickets, and gets you wristbanded and admitted to the festival grounds. Seems like there's still some time before the performance is slated to start. There are some spectators already gathered on the field, but those of more privileged blood caste are lined up around the tents in a lot to buy food and merchandise. While you walk around the festival grounds, you ask Zebra what exactly he has planned. What could you possibly do to get him in good with the clowns? Zebra takes it as an invitation to whisper conspiratorially to you in your ear. His breath is hot and heavy against your hearing canal. Here's the plan, my little sweet rush drop. We get in, wait for the show to start, and then when Marvus comes up on stage, really gets into his act, you're going to jump the barricade and rush the stage. Or at least you're going to try. Of course, I'm going to stop you. I'll tackle you before you make it to the stage, and I'll call you right in front of Marvus and everybody. Hello? Hello? I have some questions. I have some concerns. Whoa. Oh, calm down. I'm trying to tear down the stereotypes that low-bloods are all simple-minded dullards, and you aren't doing your people any favors by reinforcing the cause for prejudice. Obviously, I'm not going to really kill you. You'll simply pretend to play dead after I've heroically foiled your black designs on Marvus. My actions will firmly place me within Marvus's Ashen Quadrant, so he'll have no choice but to recognize me. And then the clowns will see what a hero I am, and praise me, and bring me backstage to reward me. It's a really flawless plan, my dear. If you just do what you're told, nothing will go wrong. Before you can proffer any critique of this caper, the jovial clamor of chatting and revelry surrounding you is pierced by a rising chorus of blood-curdling shrieks. You whip around to discern the source of the dreadful sound, but it becomes quickly apparent that those were not screams of pain at all. You know what's up when Zebra joins in with the ear-splitting squeals. That's him! It's the man of the hour himself. An expensively dressed juggalo is making his way through the crowd, flanked by a robust team of hulking indigo bloods. Every aspect of him telegraphs unimaginable celebrity. The purposeful, disheveled yet fashionable fit of his clothes, the swagger of his step, the 10-man camera crew trailing behind him. He walks with a measured poise despite the chaos rising around him. Dozens and dozens of young trolls are flinging themselves at his entourage without any apparent concern for their safety. The bodyguards are roundhouse kicking the eager teens into the ground left and right like a bloody blender of adolescent aliens. It's pure carnage. He really knows how to draw a crowd, doesn't he? Sigh. A minute ago, it was tough to truly grasp the hype. After seeing him in person, you don't know what it is, but the swaggy clown has an undeniable gravitas that commands the attention of everyone around him. What did I do? Eh. 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 No, go the right way. Whatever. It's impossible to look anywhere else. Even the alternative moonlight seems to endeavor to glint off his golden accoutrements twice as bright. But he's gone just as quickly as he arrived, up to the festival stage to set up his act. He leaves a bloody void in his wake. Zebra is bouncing on the balls of his feet following the encounter. He clearly can't wait to get up into the pit, and to be honest, neither can you. What is it about a good clown that's so utterly irresistible? Zebra takes you up to the field spread out before the stage. There are thousands and thousands of trolls already standing around, ready for the show to start. From the looks of the crowds in the back breaking down their tents, there have been Rustbloods camping out for days to secure their spots. But even those hard-won locations are much further to the back than where Zebra is leading you. There aren't many Highbloods here by comparison, so Zebra is able to take you to walk right in, muscle past all the ceruleans and grab a spot by the barricade with maybe 5 minutes to spare before the show starts. There are some roadies up on the stage now dashing around to finalize all the equipment arrangements. Oh shoot. Did you remember to bring your concert diaper? Excuse you? Zebra turns to you with wide eyes. You're awfully close together now, boxed in by the swell of trolls pushing your bodies closer and closer to the stage. You know, your concert diaper. You don't actually know. You don't have a single clue about your concert diaper. You ask if he's wearing his concert diaper. He pats the front of his pants, which you notice are looking a bit plumper than usual. Of course. You can't just come to one of these things without your concert diaper. Draco? Things in the pit can get pretty intense, bro. You can't leave to use the low gaper after it starts. Man, you're really going to regret not bringing your concert diaper. So is everyone around us. Ugh. Before you can even attempt to formulate a response to that, the crowd breaks into thunderous cheering. Your heart skips a beat as you look up, but of course, the clown who's clambering up to center stage isn't him. Marvus is clearly too hot to blow on the first act. All the same, people are really fired up over this ragged juggalo. He seems like a serviceable clown, you suppose. He's got enough gold chains and is responsibly swaggy. He gets bumping, drops a few bars. It's fine, you guess, but he's not your clown. You know the moment you laid eyes on Marvus that he was the only clown your heart would ever be able to see again. Zebra leans into your ear and has to yell to be heard over the sounds of the music and the crowd. Did you yell that? I've never much liked Rapsta Slamsy's work, to be honest. This is your name, homie? Sure, the beats are produced well, but he has a very insipid sense of lyricism. Triz's clam this, Triz's indefatigable military might that. We get it, you want to harpoon the heiress. Who doesn't, honestly? We don't need to hear about it all day. A solid 15 minutes of mildly provocative slams later, and old Slamsy is slinking off backstage. As soon as he's gone, a new jester takes the floor. You wanted to get into music. It proves to be difficult. Every new act they bring onto the stage is immediately followed by hollering earful of Zebra's scathing critiques. You wonder why he's so fixated on getting in good with this gaggle of urban farciers if he thinks so little of their technical and artistic merits to begin with. You stand lean sweatily against the barricade. You're starting to wonder if it's all worth it. Could the sight of a single rapping man really outweigh all the physical and psychic agony of waiting and standing and stewing in the heat of the pit? Will you have just endured nearly 3,000 words of hanging out with Zebra for something that will ultimately let you down? But as the penultimate clown trundles off the set, the taste of the air changes. The lights on the stage go dark, the booming sound system goes quiet, and a tremulous hush falls over the crowd. You feel your heart stop in that silence. You know down to your bones that this is the moment you've been waiting for. From sea dweller to rust bud, nobody moves. The sound of his light footsteps against the darkened stage can only be audible to someone as close as you. The anticipation swallows you whole. When the floodlights snap back on and illuminate his astounding figure center stage, you feel it. Though yet modest of stature, the lanky juggalo has the presence of a man 1,000,000 feet tall. He radiates a power the likes of which you've never felt before. You feel him inside you immediately, religiously. Oh, I see. Oh, I just got it. It's Chuckle Voodoo's, isn't it? Oh no. Yes, this is it. This is your clown. He opens his mouth to utter what feels like the most important words you've ever heard in your life. Hey. All hell breaks loose. Everyone is screaming all around you. You grip tight on the barricade as you stare up at him, glowing messianic, arms outstretched to drink in the zealous fervor of the crowd, all incited by a single, incredibly powerful word. Hey, God, you'll never forget it. What up, guys, lol? You Doug's ready to cook? You can't help it. You start screaming. You're so fucking ready. Ready? Lol, these buddies be baking beans. Shiz. Any of y'all forget your concert diapers because it's rank out there? You feel racked by shame. How could you forget your concert diaper? You'll never be so foolish again. But it's alright. I'ma freshen things up, you hear me? Deeper takes hold of your hand and squeezes it tight. You appreciate the gesture. God, he's so fucking beautiful. You understand. Yeah, it's gotta be Chuckle Voodoo's, huh? You feel deeply, utterly devastated to know how far out of your grasp he is. Why would a man like that even ever even look at you? There's no way someone so tremendous, so magnificent, so extravagant would waste his time offering his friendship to someone as insignificant as you. But as desolating as that feeling may be, you aren't ready to put him out of your life just yet. Maybe there are other ways you can be close to him. Listen to his music, follow him wherever he goes, dedicate your life to him. You want to know everything about him that you can. Maybe in this way you can honor him, befriend him in your own heart, if not his. Is the love one-sided any less beautiful? When the music at last starts to blast through the speakers, you ascend. The pain in your legs and your back disappears. You feel nothing but streaming euphoria. You thank the forces of serendipity for guiding you to the glorious epiphany of this beatific singularity. The show's nothing to scoff at either. You, a highly discerning individual known to frequently make posts online regarding the quality of rap and whether or not those who purport to possess such an ability to do in fact have the requisite bars, are fully blown away by the act. It's some really good stuff. He's just really going in hard and hot with those raps. Not that intensity is the sole barometric of the quality of hip hop. The fire that Marvus is dropping is a broad contemporary performance that would equally satisfy any aficionado of any relevant subgenre. Not a single thing about it is even slightly racist. You're really starting to get into the zone when Zebra starts screaming your ear again. You're already going deaf from the concert as it was. I think it's about time to get this show on the road, don't you? I want to go along with this. I want to know what happens if you do this dumb plan. In rapture, you may be with Marvus' magnificence. A promise is a promise, and you can't let Zebra down. Honestly, I really could. God, you're lucky this is so funny to me. You wait for the right moment and start to vault up over the barricade as quickly as you can manage. You clear the barrier and drop down into the gutter between the stage and the crowd. You're not sure where to go from here. You glance back to a zebra for guidance, and the crowd has noticed what you're doing. All right. The onlookers are swarming with rage at your insolence. Zebra makes his move. He starts to follow you up over the barricade, but things don't go as planned. Instead of heroically stopping you from making it to Marvus, Zebra is put upon from all sides by grasping claws. They don't recognize what Zebra is trying to do. They think he's just another conspirator trying to join you in your attempt at Marvus's life. I mean... Oh no! You watch in stunned horror as the two trolls closest to Zebra take hold of each of his arms, dig their claws, and rip them right off! And they don't stop there. You barely have time to process what's happening until another pair of trolls descend, helping to tear ruthlessly into Zebra's body. His screams don't even register over the booming of the sound system. Fountains of indigo blood spray hot into the humid air. The barricade and the ground all around you are drenched in your friend's gore. You're frozen where you stand, and that arid gutter between heaven and hell. This isn't how it was supposed to go, is it? You feel the inevitable press of entropy closing in. The trolls in the audience see you, and they've already had a taste of blood. Your legs are as stiff as rods as the carnage-caked trolls who made short work of your friend begin to vault over the barricade themselves. It seems pointless to run. You're stricken by a consuming sense of deja vu. You've made a mistake, and the universe is going to clean up your mess. The trolls drop down into the gutter with you in advance. You close your eyes and accept your fate. And then you feel yourself being wrenched up onto the stage. Yo, what's up? Is this the alpha timeline? Is Zebra just dead now? I'm alright with that? You can't believe your eyes. Marvus, in all his majesty, has hoisted you up safely on the ground on the grand stage. He's beaming at you with the most beautiful smile you've ever seen in your whole life. This development has certainly given the bloodthirsty crowd pause. Marvus turns to them with an unerring grin and shakes his head. Y'all out there trying to kill my buddy? Sometimes I swear my fans are bigger clowns than I am, lol. His adoring legion seems to find that very funny. You're starting to realize you really should have brought your concert diaper after all. Now it seems like there's been a big misunderstanding. This just be one of my backup dancers. Why are you lying for me, Marvus? Hey, hit it, cuz. Show him what you got. He's helping you? You can't say you understand, but you're not about to look at a sexy, gorgeous gift clown in the mouth. If Marvus wants you to dance for your life, you'll dance. You start going to town, flossing and shooting and whatever it is the kids are doing nowadays. A real contemporary breakdown. The crowd goes wild. And things are really starting to look up for you until a deafening crack sounds through the air and the stage equipment starts to collapse. It all happens quickly. The bolts of all the stage scaffolding burst out of their settings, the lights catch fire, and one of the massive 100-foot screens behind the stage comes loose of its moorings. You'd have been easily pancaked by the screen, if not for Marvus expertly clown-stepping you and himself out of the way. Is that like in any way like flash stepping, but half the crowd isn't so lucky. Raining a 100-foot area of trolls with vicious glass. Shiz. Right when things were just getting started. But the sound equipment was all obliterated by the sudden collapse. Nobody can hear him but you. For a moment, your hero looks lost. Man, we better bounce, cuz you are right. I'm confused about everything that's happening right now. Like, is Zebra just dead now? Is this the time? Is this right? Am I doing this right? Marvus grabs you by your sweaty hand and runs. He takes you to safety in the performance green room, which seems to be intact after the collapse of the stage, though the power's out. The room is filled with the clowns who'd performed earlier. They all look very confused and hurried. Shit, I mean, you right. Things gonna be a madhouse out there for a while, so better to stay low for a little bit, I bet. We out there right now and we gonna get mobbed. You ain't wrong. Usually everybody be dead at the end of my concerts. Oh yeah, that is like, yeah, that's how, yeah, that's canon, isn't it? I wouldn't make it out of there without having to pay with 100 teens otherwise. 1,000. I can read. That's 1,000. You're a little rattled to say the least. Marvus takes a good look at you. Oh, fuck, man. You shiz yourself. You start to cry. You didn't bring your concert diaper. Oh man, it's like, don't cry. Look, you're hardly the first buddy to ever shiz themselves at one of my concerts. I'm used to the smell. To be H is comforting. You sniffle and say, really? You wouldn't want to bring even the slightest inconvenience to his wonderful life. Why are you? Yeah, I'll let it cook. Bring it in, bro. You bring it in, the two of you share a nice, malodorous hug. It's hard for you to understand what's going on. Why did Marvus save you anyway? I saw you was hanging out with that blue bro who always trying to get his snuffle shoot up and jugs shitholes. And then you try to make a real run from me. Gotta say that's brave. Gotta ask a buddy where they got the bulge rods to try and pull a stunt like that. Respect. Okay, that's cute. This is a cute sprite. Oh well, it wasn't really much of a stunt. You were just going along with your friend's ludicrous plan to try and scam him into a friendship under false pretenses. But it was a really bad plan, and your friend was killed on the spot immediately. And now you're pretty sure you're cosmically fated to die due to making a non-canonical decision. I want it to be a canonical decision. What do you mean non-canon? All of this be non-canon, fam? What? Hey, Marvus? What can it even mean to be non-canonical within the context of an inherently extra-canonical framework? You're not sure, but you definitely have the sense that some of the decisions within the simulation carry greater values of truth and relevance than others. So we're talking about the pillars of canon now. And that the linear progression of events is rigorously enforced by an obligate narrative flow that privileges those actions which most smoothly facilitate the designs of the story's architect. Sure, you can hear that noise that way, but I say you the architect of your own fate. Inspiring a sermon as Marvus may be spitting, his wise pontifications are interrupted when a clown in the back of the green room knocks over the water cooler. This gets the other clown who was talking to him really pissed, and they start duking it out. It starts a chain reaction that pulls all the other high bloods into a rolling blade picture of clown carnage. Man, what the fuck is going on? Well, it's like you said, you've made a mistake, and the essence of the timeline won't rest until it's put things right. You can feel that it's happened before, and it'll happen again. Well, I'm getting the fuck out of here, mood. Come on, troll Nostradamus, let's scoot. Even as the inescapability of your demise consumes you, you can't bring yourself to deny him. You follow him out of the green room, fleeing before the clown fight can pull you in and grind you to bits. Out here, you're the one who has to help Marvus, and the open air is it's an unending procession of teens' quick time events. Some of them are carrying buckets. You just need to keep punching them until you finally make it to this rich guy clown limo. The driver is nowhere to be seen, so Marvus gets behind the wheel and you hightail it out of there. You stick your head out the window and look back. There's a nasty storm brewing in the distance. I know where somewhere we'll be safe. You make sure to secure your seatbelt. After dodging at least 3 fallen trees, a wayward deer looses, and a lightning strike that blasts the hood of the vehicle right off, Marvus brings you to— I'm back at Clutch! Marvus brings you to Clown Church. You can't say this place was a high on your list of venues you wanted to visit again, but this thing has a fucking budget. Whatever bullshit power that's coming after you, you will have no reach here. This be hollow ground, biznatch. I mean... Marvus leaves the limo on the lawn of the church, and you both hurry out just in time because it explodes not 2 seconds after you're out of the door. By instinct, Marvus shields you from the fiery blast with his body. Oh no, Marvus, no, you beautiful soul. You're destroyed by guilt. How could someone so tremendous bring themselves to such harm for someone so meaningless as you? I'm back in Clutch. You drag Marvus's burned, scorched body into Clown Church, and you collapse as soon as you're past the threshold. You start weeping. Shiz fam, I ain't dead, just a little toasty. You ain't gotta cry about it, goddamn. Oh, okay. You help him right up and bolt the door behind you. He was right. You do feel safe here. Nothing— oh, because you can't bring down the clown. Nothing is collapsing. Nobody is being stricken with the hysterical urge to start a fight, and there's not even a single fire happening anywhere. The merciful Messiah is protecting us, buddy. Stay frosty, aight? You help Marvus over to sit down in one of the pews. You settle in next to him and gaze at the imposing architecture. It's not all so bad. There's a beauty here, a beauty in being a clown too, you're starting to see. Maybe you're even starting to believe? You turn to look at Marvus and his face is ashen and slick with sweat. I think that dip in the grill hurt a bit more than I thought. Your heart drops to your chest. You ask if he's going to be alright. As long as we stay in here, I mean, but can you really stay inside Clown Church forever? You know down to your bones that even if you do, it doesn't matter. It's something about the air. You can't really describe it. Everything just starts to press down, 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 like you and everything around you is sinking implacably into the earth. But the ground is coming up to meet you too. You start to perspire. The pressure leaves you weak. You slump against Marvus's shoulder. You feel so insubstantial, like the entire concept of your existence is struggling to erase itself. You know this isn't something you can fight. What, are you giving up just like that? You don't know what else you can do. This isn't how things were supposed to go. This isn't how things can be. You can't exist like this. That depends on what it means to exist, fam. Depending on how you look at it, every branch of the timeline be fundamental to the metatextual structure of the existence of existence itself. Marvus, why do you know about this? Even an incident that falls outside of the strict confines of canonical continuity contributes to a meta-consciousness that be built by and could even be said to be at its most essential level of defined primarily by the extratextual exchange of interpretation by those who observe it. Each path of translucent fragment that via mirroring or distorting or magnifying certain aspects of the ultimate reality folds itself invisibly into the fabric of that reality. Itself immeasurable and intangible, but the space it once occupied in the— Shut up! Although, but technically I never said it wasn't valid. I did say that is not, it has 0 pillars of canon. It is not relevant or essential or true. It's self-immeasurable and intangible, but the space it once occupied indelible. The observation of no, that's one of the pillars of canon, and has none of them. The observation of a reality can still inform how reality is to be interpreted, even if that reality doesn't satisfy even a cursory standard of legitimacy. And the act of contravening continuity can itself provide definition to that very integrity it defiles. Even if what's going on down here can't be said to be true, that doesn't mean we are meaningless. Turn up. You don't know about all that, but you tell Marvus you're glad he's here with you. Marvus smiles and puts his arm around your shoulders. In spite of it all, he makes you feel real. You stare into effervescing panes of clown glass as they shift and scintillate into your vision. Things are coming apart at the seams. Subatomic concepts scream from the insides of your ears, and the infinity of pure dimension blossoms between your tenuous threads holding the essence of your being together. The terminality of paradox space reaches into you from the inside out and takes a hold of reality in its inescapable grasp. Continuity inverts and cascades into a cataclysmic fractal. What happens will happen, and what can't must not, and no measure of hubris from man or god or clown can stymie the cosmic imposition of truth. You close your eyes for just a moment, but when you open them again, there's nothing to see at all. That's not even either of whatever these are. That's not even... Whoa. What does it mean? Alright, no, let's not do that. Are you kidding, you say? There's no way you're going to vault over the barricade and try to make an attempt on Marvus's life, fake or not. Shut up. Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. For one thing, that plan is fucking stupid, and you'd immediately die. Second of all, Marvus is a beautiful artist with the soul of a true poet, and you're not going to help anyone attempt to exploit his celebrity for selfish purposes. You conclusively inform Zebra that he'll have to find someone else to help him hoodwink sweet Marvus. What's that? I can't hear you over all the incredibly vicious and beautiful rapping. You tell Zebra that you're not doing it. You just want to listen to the rest of the concert and enjoy yourself. Anyway, Zebra seems horribly taken aback. What? But I thought we were friends. You reassure Zebra that you are friends, but affirming a friendship doesn't necessarily require one to embark upon a ludicrous suicide pact in order to socially hornswoggle a rhythmically gifted Mary Andrew. You're hardly Thelma and Louise, get real. You tell Zebra he needs to find someone else to help him cozy up to the clown's inner circle. Zebra humrumps offended and decides to go. He starts to push away through the crowd down the length of the barricade. And with that, you're free to turn your gaze back to his mirthful eminence and embrace the new piece that you have found in his artwork. But Marvus only keeps distributing dope. And the crowd only gets rowdier. Before you know it, you find yourself being wrenched into the writhing mass, jostled about and subsumed by the transcendent power of the music. Your pitiful little body becomes nothing but a note in its wicked sympathy, a raindrop washed away in the rapids. Some time ago, you might have accepted your fate here and allowed yourself to be trampled by the mob, but you have something to live for now. Even as you feel yourself begin to physically break, those sick beats tether you spiritually to the mortal world. His ruthless bars cut through the heat and the sweat and the heavy stench of piss and meat, drawing you like a sailor to the siren's song. Not even death could wrench you free of his grasp. And so it's gotta be Choco Voodoo's, right? In spite of the odds, you manage to muscle your way back up to the fore. You exit the mosh pit a shattered mess, bruised, battered, and broken, hanging on only by the most tenuous of threads. Nope. As you look around, you get a glimpse of your fate. You're surrounded on all sides by trolls who have collapsed and been trampled dead, faces frozen and rictus of ecstasy. Given how lightheaded you feel, you aren't long for this world either, but you can carry on a bit further for him. Wow, he's really something else, that Marvus, you think, as your wasted body slumps against the barricade. It's all you can do to lift your weak head and stare up at him, drinking up his boundless auto-visual wonder as your vision starts to blur and your consciousness begins to fade. You jerk back to your senses when you feel something splashing over your face. You cast on resolute for the surface of the water till you disbelief you see that it was Marvus. He's standing at the edge of the stage, gyrating his hips to the choreography as he looks down at you in concern. It's like staring into the groin of an angel. He waits for you to break in his verse to cover his mic and mouth to you, "Yo, buddy, right?" You can't believe how gracious he is to see a humble fan such as yourself in pain and to stop and make sure you're okay. Is this real, or have you passed on to heaven after all? Your gaze tracks up from his well-proportioned crotch to the generous view offered by the plunging neckline of his shirt. You're alright now. You've never been more alright in your life. Marvus jumps off the stage into that impassable purgatory that separates it from the pit, the gods from the mortals, and makes his way over to you. He stretches out his hands. "Hey babe, wanna dance?" Your broken bones are no obstacle. Instinct propels you over the barricade and into his arms. He catches you like you've both been waiting your entire lives for this moment. You've never felt more warm or safe. He scoops you up with his incredible strength and carries you back to the stage, and the screen is becoming purple because Marvus is talking into his mic again, so his words reverberate through the entire field. "Look what we got here." Seems like a fucking low, but cut to the front of my line, friends, lol. The remainder of the crowd that's still conscious boos viciously. What's happening? Oh, you're clearly bleeding red from being stomped in the face several times in the mosh pit, and the murky lights of the stage, it looks awfully burgundy. Someone's been naughty. Yes, you've been so naughty, you say it to the mic. No remorse. For damn shame, the crowd jeers. We clearly got a criminal on our damn hands. What you think I should do with them? Any opinions? The response is disjointed but still functionally unanimous amidst the clamor. One word keeps being repeated. I read it and then didn't read it, so it was words. Yeah, I mean, yeah. That's y'all want me to kill him? Shit, that's brutal. Well, I ain't one to let down my fans, you hear me? Justice be fucking done by my merry men. What better way to cap off a wicked night than with a little gutter blood shower, lol. Well, you hardly qualify to question Marvus's judgment. If what he wants to do is publicly execute you in front of a crowd of his adoring fans, you guess that's how it has to be. You surrender completely as Marvus directs the stage hands to help him erect some sort of makeshift crucifix. You don't struggle as he carries you over and ties you up, suspended above the crowd. All the spotlights shine on you, burning hot. The audience's rapturous screams deafen you. But all you can see is Marvus approaching you, ringed in otherworldly light. His back is to the crowd, so you're the only one who can see his face like this, intense, focused, merciless. A gaze meant only for you. You've never felt more special. He steps up before you face to face. You stare into his eyes, enthralled. Such clear eyes, so potent and beautiful. Your only regret is that you can't gaze into them for longer. Marvus takes hold of his cane and in a fluid motion draws out his rapier sharp hidden blade. No, you can't have that. The metal glints 1,000 colors in the light of the stage, almost as awesome as he is. You hope he strikes true. Yours will be a magnificent death. But then he winks. A fleeting moment of understanding passes between you. Could it be that Marvus is the friend you've been searching for after all? Oh, is it a fool's flight of fancy to dream so? He draws in close, stirring up as if to strike, and then as he raises his blade, his jacket lifts up too, exposing his vulnerable clown pit. If you leaned in just now, maybe, just maybe, you could... So what... I'm pretty sure... Okay, I'm going to save here especially because I'm pretty sure that... Because that says respect yourself. And one of the endings says have no self-respect. So I bet you that's it. But I'm going to respect myself and see what happens. Marvus brings down the blade. It sinks deep into the wood beside your neck. This was no accident. A gesture so powerful surely would not miss. He's sparing your life. You're so humbled that your bladder evacuates on the spot. Your urine is as hot on your legs as Marvus's gaze is on your face. You really wish that you thought to bring your concert diaper. Marvus gives you a look and then glances pointedly to his cane sword. You take the hint and make an exaggerated reaction like you've just been stabbed for real. You grab at your neck, sputtering, flailing. The high bloods right at the front can tell you haven't really been stabbed, and they're a little disappointed, but it's not as clear to the trolls further back. Somewhere around the mess of teal bloods, the illusion really hits home. They start going fucking bonkers back there. The apeshit wave travels back to the burgundies and then ricochets back home to the high bloods. You crack one eye open as you play dead. This time is nothing like the controlled moshing during the performance. This is pure anarchy. The whirlwind of death and brutality. Trolls are at each other's throats, literally ripping each other apart with fang and claw. All the blood spraying into the air makes the humidity really skyrocket. At some point when the racket becomes less than melodic, the clowns all come out for their final encore to drown out the sounds of the screaming. They start wrapping up a real storm. After about 45 seconds, a full 2/3 of the crowd are completely dead on the ground. The performance finally ends once every single troll in the crowd has collapsed either from death or exhaustion. Only once the audience has worn itself out do the clowns call it quits. They all start filing backstage, but for Marvus, who stops to take you down from the cross. Your beloved clown cradles you in his arms like the Pieta, gently petting your blood-splattered face. You hanging in there, fam? You tell him that yes, while continuing to play dead. You don't want to foil his ruse. Okay, gravy. He picks you back up and carries you off the stage. No, Zebra left. I was about to say, hey, did Zebra just die again? But no, he left the concert. He picks you back up and carries you off the stage. Clowns have a little green room set up in the backstage venue where they're all mixing and relaxing after the show. Nobody seems concerned to see Marvus carrying a 90% dead alien, or particularly rattled after witnessing thousands of trolls savagely cannibalize each other either. Hey, you want a Sandy? A what? A Sando. You're sorry? Grub bread. A sandwich. You say yes, you're pretty hungry. Marvus drops you off on the couch and you lounge indulgently as you wait for him to walk up to the catering table and pick you something up. He's back quickly. Think you can move your arms or anything, buddy? You say not really. You're pretty sure all your bones are basically obliterated. Oh shit, that's rough. Sorry, man. Guess that's my fault. Lol. Okay, say ah. You don't even question it. You obey him unthinkingly. You nearly choke when he kneels beside you and starts pressing broken off pieces of grub sandwich past your trembling lips. Tears well up at the corner of your eyes. How could someone like you be so lucky to touch and be held by the closest thing on this mortal plane to a god? You're sure there are thousands, millions of trolls out there who would die to get the experience anything like this. It's humbling. What did you deserve this? You're so weak from the concert that even moving your jaw is hard, and your starstruck sobbing doesn't help either. Whenever a sloppy bit of grub paste filling dribbles down on your chin, Marvus is right there to catch it and shove it back in with your eager maw. He makes unyielding eye contact with you as he allows you to suck the maggoty meal from his fingers. You tell him he's beautiful. A lot of people say that. I don't know about all that though. How about you just stop with the chuckle-boodles though? I'm just a humble rhyme juggler with a lot of cash money and 10 guys filming what I'm doing right now. When you're finished eating your sandwich, Marvus kindly wipes up all the mess off your face. He's so gracious, you can't believe it. You're so glad the camera crew is here to capture all of this so you can watch it and relive the experience of receiving his kindness again later. You guess you need to answer the question. Why did Marvus decide to save you? Need an answer to the question. Why did Marvus decide to save you? Marvus takes a moment to think on it. Well, I guess I saw the guy you was with and was like, shit, what a sorry motherfucker. You know that buddy be bad news fam, lol. What, Zebra? No way, Zebra's your friend. All of your friends are cool. Damn, cuz that's raw. You okay? You sick? You real friends with that end dog? I really don't want to be his friends. You know he blacklisted all the fucking way. He blacklisted all the fucking way out in Clown Town. What? Really? Why? He's just a social climber, man. That big blue buddy and his motherfucking be a motherfucking parasite. And he's blacklisted by all clowns? He doesn't seem to know that. Well, we ain't about to go and tell him his chatty ass. Gonna go and write a wicked nasty review about my business. So we be looking out for ourselves. Us clowns real close knit, you know? Take care of each other and all that shiz. You feel me? You know, if you think about it, clowns really are the most disprivileged socioeconomic class. Marvus, no, not you too. You have thought about that, and it's making more and more sense recently. You'd love to engage in nuanced discourse with him about clown privilege or lack thereof. Yeah, cuz though we normally occupy in a position of structural power in the institutional hierarchy of the hemostraction, we be subjugated into dampening our powers like no other. You're clearly not doing that. Because the agents of the Empress and her episode hierarchy know that the unimpeded strength of me and my sick nasty buddies would easily unseat sea dwellers as dominant caste. And if purple blood be objectively superior to violet in every metric, strength, power, and influence despite chromatically preceding them, and the only reason we don't rise up and rip the fins off their slimy little faces is an eternity of religious persecution and culturally immutable precedent. What does that say about the validity of the rest of the system? You consider your mind thoroughly blown. Wow, this guy is incredibly woke and not the least bit racist at all. You're really inspired by how good he is as both an artist and a man. Damn straight. Maybe all the spectrum needs a little chaos to shake things up. Really makes you fucking think, you hear me? God, you do hear him. It makes so much sense. He makes so much sense. You make so much sense together. Marvel smiles at you and you hold hands. You don't want to let go. You're afraid you'll never see him again if you do. You're not sure you can live like that. Maybe you can't always be by his side, but maybe sometimes, occasionally, all you want is to make a friend. Of fucking course I'll be your buddy. Here, why don't you add me on Cheddar? And next time I got a show, maybe I'll hook you up with some wicked ticks. I don't think I want to come to another one of your concerts. B.I. fucking PB. Rust Emperors represent. Make sure to check out my link in my bio for merch if you're interested. The promise fills you with so much hope and light and joy. You can't believe it. You did it. You made the greatest, most ultimate friend of them all. Your shining light, your reason for being. Marvus, the truest buddy you've ever had. The game really just didn't explain anything about Chuckle Voodoos. Imagine not knowing what was going on. I got to meet my clown. Okay, I'm gonna see if I'm right and that other thing would get me this. I really don't wanna, but let's find out. Take a whiff. You can't help yourself. You lean right into the clown's swampy armpit and breathe in deep. The scent is like nothing you've ever smelled before. It's like a thick flavor of ambrosia glazed over an ogre's musk. Wet teriyaki sauce sprinkled with the seasoning of pure passion. Powerful, indomitable, and beyond intoxicating. You can't get enough. You sniff and then you snuff, sucking as much of the hot, salty odor into your nostrils as possible. So delicious. The fresh bouquet of exertion brought about by hard, relentless work, freely flowing as the manifestation of his raw talent. You could spend the rest of your life nestled into this gesture's fragrant pit, which might be literally what happens. You hope he allows the indulgence. Were you so bold, you might even take a hearty lick. Oh, how could it possibly taste if the smell alone is so wonderful? Would that you could suckle even a single drop of that sweet gesture's musky, hunky tang. You imagine some poor Let's Player? Hey, MSP Arian? You imagine some poor Let's Player having to read every delectable sentence of these. I'm gonna sue Andrew Hussey. Odoriferous paragraphs out loud and get a little hot and bothered, but you aren't quite that brave. Alright. So he misses, he spares me. Alright. This is the same. Yes, it's the same. Yeah. Yeah. Me. I gotta catch them all. How dare you make me read that? My actual me right now. Alright, let's try to get this one with Trixie. I have no idea what it could be though. Let's find out. And then I'll be done for tonight and do these ones tomorrow. And then I'll play Pastor Quest. Alright, Trixie, where are you? Yes. Friends. Alright. Okay, I can't just stand here. I remember that. Just stand. No, I mean, I have to just stand here. I can't grab the door because if I grab the door, nothing happens. Okay. I told him, so let's mind my business. Because, like... Okay, maybe it's this one. Because I told her to do something last time. So I'm going to assume it's this one up here. That sucks. Where is the bar? Trixie looks up at you like she's only just remembered she's in a physical body and not simply an amorphous blob of pure sadness. There's a cluster of bottles on a nearby amp. God, Morphago. Of all the brands that could be across galaxy, of course it had to be Fago. Trixie grabs what looks like a liquor bottle. Right here. Come on, not even my vent chitter is enough for this. Back in the dressing room, Trixie upends several suitcases onto the floor, mixing her stuff with the other performers. Her give a shit-o-meter is down in the red, apparently. She flops down in the pile she's made and takes a huge gulp out of the bottle. Wow, have some. It's awful. Encouraging. Come on, it's gross, but it won't kill you. You wish people would stop promising you that. So far it's been true, but you still don't trust it. She takes another drink and hiccups, then holds the bottle out for you. Great, peer pressure. Lying on a pile of sweaters with the distraught vocalist and getting wasted is exactly what you wanted to do with your evening. Chixie gives the bottle a shake. Oh well. You sucked milk out of a bug's ass and you're still here. You drop down on the sweaters beside her. Chixie is dramatic, but you're disappointed to discover that she was not being dramatic about this. And it is awful. Right? Have some more. You do. God, that's bad. Chixie is getting a lot tipsier than you. She's drinking faster and she's smaller than you are. Not that you know shit about trolls physiology. Come on, let's commiserate. It's hard, you know? You nod. Boy, do you know. The music business, I mean. Especially when you're starting out. You have to be visible, but you also can't look like you're showing off. You have to pretend you don't like the attention or fame, even if you do, but sometimes you have to pretend you do like it, even if you don't. If you're a low blood, you have to watch everything you do all the time. If you're a high blood, you can do anything and everybody thinks it's awesome, no matter what. Show business sucks. You want to mention that she's the one who decided to go into it in the first place, but that would be unkind. Nobody here seems to have a job or go to school either. They all just have intensely obsessive hobbies like painting or music or meat. Instead, you tell her you're sure she'll write more songs. Sure, and they'll just steal those too. You tell her you're sure that's not true. Shh. Chixie attempts to put a finger up to your lips, but gets it half up your nose instead. Shh. Complaining time, not helpful advice time. Oh dang. You can definitely get behind that because you've got some complaints. You take another swig and it burns all the way down. You tell Chixie all about the crash landing on a strange alien planet, the broken limbs and hard times and bad wardrobe choices. You skirt around all the amazing friends you made though. You don't want her to experience friend envy. Halfway through your harrowing story, you hear something. Chixie is passed out, drooling on your dress. Oh yeah, I'm in that purple dress, huh? Better than puking. Do trolls puke? Oh well. This isn't a vow of undying friendship, but it's not friendly. Victory? Alright. Yes. Okay. Alright. Yes. And then I'll finish this. Yes. So I will see you tomorrow, 3 to 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to sue Andrew Hussey. Alright, I gotta go read your Homestuck meta, Cherise. But okay. Bye.